Are we live? If anyone's watching, can I get a quick test? Are we live? And we are live. There we go. Good. Okay. Hey, everybody. Peace up. Obviously, new house, so everything is getting weird for setup. Yoshi P and Foxconn have been hopped on talking a little bit before things began. So so we'll be going and talking about the live letter obviously today. We were very still. I thought my internet was acting up. All good. Okay, how's my audio? Is everything good, guys? Let me look over at the OBS. Everything looks good. The lighting looks weird. That's fine. It's just because I'm basically using weird studio lights right now. Everything's good. Okay, cool. We still got about 10 minutes until the live letter begins. Right now, Foxconn and Yoshi P are just talking, having a general conversation, which I'll go ahead and read that while we get up. As per usual, we'll be covering all of the live letter today. What we'll be getting is basically the bits that we did not get last time, and in particular, we'll be getting the 7.1 trailer. So we'll be talking about that and reacting to that. And then I may make a video about that tomorrow morning once I can get to work. But yeah, we'll be using the translations mainly off of the Final Fantasy XIV Discord. With it looks like Luna and Muna are doing the translations today. But yeah, let me. Those guys. Open chat back up. Cute beanie, thank you. It's because my hair is. I have not gotten a haircut, so there's no haircuts out where I'm at now. Stay by having good watch. Yeah. Oh, I hope you feel better, AC. Loud and clear. Wow, there's 11 hours YouTube show me as time before stream starts past free. Sure, it's not video, right? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so to give an overview of what Foxconn and Yoshi P were talking about, well, they were here. Foxconn got his clothing from Chinese FanFest with the one with the Morble, his Morble outfit. He doesn't know where to wear this. He considers TGS, but it was hot to wear. So basically a weird outfit to wear. He realized Halloween is already over, so there's no need to costume, but here we are. Today, was Yoshi P wearing sneakers? No. Today is the second feature for the PLL. Today will contain many in-game footages, so we'll probably get quite a bit. We'll probably get the Alliance footage from the Alliance raid. We will get footage from we'll get footage from the Alliance raids. We'll get footage from the 7.1 trailer. We'll probably see a little bit of the Ultimate. Yeah, see a bunch of different stuff. You should be sharing his experiences, like for baseball matches. Yeah, they're just kind of shooting the shit. Just talking about baseball. Since this is part 2 of the Producer Level Live patch 7.1, you should know what to expect from the opening. Yes, they will open with the trailer, so we're gonna have the trailer very soon. We should get the trailer in about 10-15 minutes. Ishbi is currently sharing his thoughts about Final Fantasy XI. Understandable, since 11 is a great senpai to 14. He'll be showing you more about the Alliance raids later on. Some comments also saying that FF14 is the first MMORPG Yoshi, their first MMORPG. Yoshi P says thank you to them. Several comments here and there as well, saying some started as early days of Final Fantasy XI, some even skip 14 to play 11 first, and so on. But either way, since the expansion contains the collaboration between 11 with 14, he's going to show you more on later on. He might also be sharing you some memes that happened back during 11 and 14, because both games being MMORPGs that ran for quite a long time, there's definitely some community and meme episodes that happened precisely because it's MMORPGs that we have memes that shape those games that they are today. Yeah, don't they know it? Lahi. Anyways, it's about time to start patch 7.1, so yeah. So they will be beginning. Okay, cool. So we've got about 9 minutes until then. Actually, let's do an audio balance test. I'm gonna talk real quick. How's my audio, and can you hear Yoshi P at all? John, good to see, glad to have you. Did you see the short in-game video of Juno? No, yeah, no, did they show it during their conversation? He said that they were going to show some of Juno. Yoshi P's quiet, yeah. I'm trying to make it so that they're, you know, once I'm covering what they're talking about, people aren't getting blasted. Doesn't look like the Juno footage was from here, so we'll probably be getting. We'll definitely get. That was posted on Twitter. It's only about 10 seconds long. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be covering that and more in the live letter. So that might even be from the trailer. Can hear you, not Yoshi B. That's fine. Yeah, because he won't. They don't have I, me, or Kate or anyone, so it's just gonna be basically me covering the stuff. New Ultimate got me thinking, how do primals manifest clothing? I mean, why is primals manifesting clothing any weirder than them manifesting themselves from the Aether anyways? It's no difference, right? It's just matter coming from Aether. Yep. So, yeah, 7 a.m. EST is when they're going to begin. So. Or elements, the force of creation. Yeah, exactly, Infinite, exactly. Okay, you guys excited for 7.1? Who's got theories? Who's got thoughts in our 7 minutes before we get some more information? Interesting that Bakul Jaja looks like he's going to be tied with Prish based off of the other image that we saw on the site too. So he's going to be kind of caught into that, which is kind of interesting because of Galul Jaja coming from 11 in the first place, and Treasure's expansion kind of having similarities to Tural and the entirety of 7.0. And with Prish, we're definitely getting Chains of Promathia stuff. That's definitely a question. And based off, what was it? Was it at Chinese FanFest? There was a comment they basically said where they implied that effectively the first Alliance raid would be, especially with Shadow Lord seeming to be the end of it, being basically core with maybe some Zilart stuff. I think because didn't Fafnir come from Rise of Zilart? Is that what I'm thinking of? Will we fight Bakul Jaja for training? I mean, we've kind of already gone through that. Noon stream. Well, for us it's 7, but yeah, for you and Ray, it's actually a nice normal time. Crepe. Clothing requires more consideration. Yeah. I have a theory that we'll get our version of Shinra, maybe even Hojo. Huh? I feel like Frisch is going to mistake Bakul Jaja for Galul Jaja just by reputation. That's an interesting thought. More glam recipes, more glowy weapons, give me mommy crystals. Well, that you can always be certain of, Yukio. I'm excited for chaotic alliance raids. Those are going to be very interesting. Trying to think about other 7.1. So we're going to find out the nature of Gulja for sure. And look, he's definitely a clone, right? He's a clone body because who is Zeralja fucking, right? Like nobody. He ain't got time for that. There's no way that Gulja is like just a straight normal biological child. Also, it looks like I bet you the there's what you I'm gonna get it wrong. Yuyuwada station is definitely some sort of research installation created by either preservation or by Zeralja's plans. Basically, we know it was a place where a Vidral attacked before the dome went up that Zeralja saved, but we don't know what else went on there after those events. Yuyuwada. Okay, I was close. One thing I haven't thought about with the Alliance raid centered around Mamuk, it makes sense per Lizard Daddy's fight. I mean, we don't know for sure it's even centered around Mamuk. We just know that they happen to go through the forest, which makes sense, especially with the meteors from with strange energies affecting the trees there. Yeah. I'm looking forward to either being so disproven wrong that I can finally, or proven totally right, but I'm finally looking forward to being put to bed that explaining that Ivalice is not a reflection, because that doesn't work or make any sense from a metaphysics, lore, or story standpoint, But I'm finally looking forward to them. Are they going to either do an interdimensional rift thing where they're going to directly connect to Vana'diel that way, or are they going to do like what they did with Ivalice and interpret it? Or are they going to make it an interpretation from a prior point in history and like from Tyral, like old Tyralian history, or from like another Reflections history, like the 9th or the 11th? And then Prish has been kind of Anukulhaing it, kind of being being immortal, like in 11. Did I say Ivalice again? Well, I meant Ivalice. Yeah, I meant Ivalice. I'm talking about how they interpreted Ivalice. With the how they interpreted Ivalice. I wasn't talking about Vana'diel. In this case I was talking about how Vana'diel would be interpreted like Ivalice, unless I said Ivalice for both, in which case fuck me, right? Ivalice. They say Ivalice, it's voiced. It's not. I know that people like Ivalice, but they say Ivalice. There are voice lines of it being Ivalice. A bit of additional context, the news on the Japanese television is filled with baseball right now. Yoshibi was also asked to comment on current One Piece. He said that he would take over the entire producer live letter and that he would love to have a show where he just talks about One Piece, to which Foxconn responded that he can't say that on stream because now he'll actually have to decline invitations to do exactly that because people would want to watch that show. True. How many of you guys want to watch Yoshi P talk about One Piece? Cataclysm, good to see, glad to have you. Hello, everyone. It's been a while. Yeah, glad you could join us. I'm hoping that eventually they introduce a deep dungeon on the first, the Lunatic Pandora. Lunatic. Is that a connection to something? Is that from one of the Final Fantasies that doesn't ring any bells, John? Here, I'll pull up. Oh, it's from 8. That's why. I need to replay 8. Right, it's that giant tower thing. Right. Yeah, that would be cool. Especially, yeah, I get what you're saying with the first, because what with Eden already existing there. Yeah. Yeah, that would be rad. I could imagine them also just using that in an MSQ somewhere too, though. I can imagine this being an ancient structure, or being, you know, like, we pull it up. It could be, you know, it could be a structure of the ancients or of Alag, like find something like it in Corvos. Yeah. Rad. We already got Wuklot for being our monkey. Yeah. Exactly. Bruce Lee bonus points for putting it on the first moon. Yeah, it's interesting because we don't get any indication necessarily that beyond Mare Lamentorum and the Loporrits, who were specifically keeping tabs for the source, that the other moons had much in the way of installations. It's not like there were or no, there was a watcher. No, there was a watcher on the Red Moon because specifically Golbez slew him. So presumably there should be a phantom on the others. Yeah, okay, Miuna will be doing the translations today. Thank you to the people over at FanFest 14. Will they announce the next event? What do you mean next event? Like the next crossover event or holiday event? We've got a while until, I mean, we've got Starlight's next. I mean, I guess not a while. It's probably only the better part of about a month and a half. Oh, here we go. Wow, they really fucking recreated 11. The 11 stand's gonna be happy today. Clone bodies. I can't be certain, but I think that's Wukulmat and Gulja attacking to each other. Is the Holotali update? We'll rewatch it in English once they release that. EX3. Oh, looks like maybe he does have a mom. Or at least a nurse. Hey! We've got him up in the northeast of... Oh, looks like Krish is one of the bosses. This is for the role quest. That looked like Eorzean. Fucking Barrel Tender, let's go! The white Barrel Tender? Allied Societies. Hey, okay. We got the Zillard stuff, we got the Archangels, we got Fafnir. It is a trial on Zorgor the Boundless. Yeah. Shadow Lord. Chaotic Alliance raid? Let's go. Fuck yeah, let's go. Yeah, Kona in the northeast, I feel like he's going to be dealing with some of the other... Kona's going to be in the northeast dealing with some of the... Oh, hey! Ultimate. Oracle of Light and Darkness. Did she take on the memories of Logriff and therefore become an embodiment of Logriff as well? That's fascinating. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, which would make sense if Reen effectively took into herself the memories of Logriff and of Gaia. So nothing surprising exactly, but all of it exciting. It's Yoshi P and Foxconn. Reinjunctioned Gaia. What will the final be cost? Probably something better than this, but basically Oracle of Light and Dark. Envoy of Avarice. Making up weird poetic bullshit. Oracle of Dawn, Oracle of Twilight. I like those ideas. Yoshi P, what did you think? There was a lot there. I saw a comment that said you made a Hildy look handsome for the first time. I guess it doesn't fit. I guess it doesn't fit him. Foxconn says, a lot of images that looked like 11 and the background music as well got me emotional. Yeah. The 11 people are going to be very excited. Yoshi, 11 is running for more than 20 years. There are so many players who have a lot of memories tied to that game. How many of you guys are 11 players? I bet if it's a remix of the Heritage Found One Infinite, then it's the Uewada station music. Yoshi P, I know there's a lot of players who swapped to 14 early on but didn't enjoy it before it was reborn and didn't return to 11 either and just fully quit. Played 11 back in the day, but woo, it's been a while. Lots of good memories, though. Do any of those... I recognize those maps from recently looking at and studying some of them from... But it looks like it is going to be mainly a combination of Zilart and Core 11. Rise of Zilart and Core 11. The questions is do they do Promathia next, or do they do Promathia final? Since they're doing Krish.
みたいなことを言うと、サウンドスタッフがわざわざこう渋谷まで来てやるってことになっちゃうんで、まあ今回引っ越しでバタバタしてるので、大変綺麗なんですよ。大変綺麗ですね。
We're getting a lot of in-game footage today. Foxconn. It's been a while since we had a broadcast from our out of headquarters. HP. We had 2 studios in Tokyo, Shinjuku and Shibuya. 1 more in Osaka. What if Altana would be a Vana'diel boss in the future? That's a cool idea. Yeah. Altana as like a primal or something, or I don't know, any number of ways that they can interpret it. Promathia is rating 2 and Wings is 3. I mean, that makes sense from a linear perspective, John. The only thing is that, like, with Prish seeming to be central, it makes me wonder if they'll do Promathia as the final and kind of weave the other things into prior, but from a linear perspective, you could do that. You could also kind of do a Rhapsodies of Vana'diel as sort of final, but that would also be kind of weird. It should be. All our sound staff is in Shinjuku because our sound team really wants this broadcast to be good. They came over to Shibuya today. No matter where we are, we always give our best, obviously, but there's a different nervousness when we're doing it from our headquarters. Tell me the knowledge. Speaking of 11, I got my little 11 Gabi right here. Shadow Lord reminds me of Dracula due to similar tragedy. I mean, it depends on which version of Vlad you're talking about. Okay, Crossroads. Releasing 11/12. Yeah, literally exactly when we all thought it was. We've known it was going to probably be 11/12 or 11/5 for like 4 months or more. Thanks to the thanks to basically the regularity of their patch cycle. Literally, I have the entirety of the patches up until 8.0, roughly. Like literally, I've had this for like a couple weeks or months. Okay. I know you guys already expected this. We also get a sneak peek at future scheduling. Hey, that's exciting. Yep, 2 weeks. Yep. Everybody go finish your PvP series, because you're gonna, once the patch drops, you'll lose access to the mounts and all that. Also, don't forget to do all the trials and alliance raids and all that stuff. Get ready and caught up. Final One has never seen before crossover dungeon for both games featuring brand new 1411 crossplay mode. Trust me, my dad is Yoshi P. And your uncle works at Nintendo. The future scheduling stuff will not be talked about until later on at the end of the stream.
日本語も含む全言語のトレーラーをアップロード公開いたしました。ですので画面出ますか？ちょっとハイデリンキックされてくるわって言って人が。
Cool. Well, whenever they go for their break, we'll watch the English version.
で今本放送の方ではですね、毎回これではございますが、もう一度日本語トレーラーを流して、今度はマイク生かした状態で、吉田さんのコメンタリーなんかもいただきながら、もう一回見ようと思いますので、日本語以外の言語もチェックしてやろうっていう方はですね、今が最良のタイミングですので、ぜひそうされてください。はい。じゃあ準備よろしければよろしいですか？はい、大丈夫です。はい。それではもう一度トレーラーの方行きましょう。お願いします。
Okay, they're gonna play it one more time.
まあここの入りがやばい。そうね。でも演出は結構最後まで素見も含めて、どう落ち着けようかみたいな話は
This is the central city between the like main continents in 11. This is from Zillar, right? I'm not crazy. The two maps that they just show the forest thing and that. Not this place though. This isn't core. That floating.
あまり逆に11をね知らない方がちょっと置いてけぼりだなっていう感じになっちゃってもとは思ってるので。
As always, we're rewatching the Japanese version on stream, so now's the time to watch in your preferred language. They're making some comments.
通り越して、まあいわゆる今まで最近だと、まあ最近だとっていうか行月のフィナーレが6.0で。
He's talking about Endwalker a little bit versus like what they want to do different in Dawn, what they want to do different in Dawn Trail. Since we have a second, okay. So friendly point to remind you that the people of Solution 9 have not been dealing with death or loss for a long time, and that the memories of those who are deceased are obliterated from their mind anyways. So this is like the first time they've been really able to memorialize or need graves. So to be able to have a memorial to be able to like say goodbye to Sphene for them is like really important, to be able to grieve and to let go. And also with a lot of the themes of Dawn Trail and what you leave behind and what you leave with people and what graves can be, you know, with the Yokui and plenty of other things. With this, you know, statues, obviously, into Leolal. So, yeah. Clone, those definitely look like clone bodies to me. I mean, or at least there's some kind of experiment, right? Like for soul transportation when, like, maybe the flesh starts to wear out. So, if Glulja was originally created as a clone body for, Zeralja, that would make sense. And what you might say, one thing you could say is like, well, it seems like almost there's a shot of like a mother of his later on, like here. So you've got Zeralja and a lady, and him and his child. It's like, well, maybe that's his mom, right? Here's a thought. Maybe it's not his mom. Maybe that was more of like the scientist or nurse. Or maybe I'm just reaching. Anyways, have we finished? Those flowers are Nymean lilies, though. They should be part of the. They shouldn't be part of the. Well, but so there's one easy thing, which they may be asset reuse, as that has happened before. So they may just be general flowers, and the notion of giving flowers is not particular only to Eorzea. Alternatively, it could be something that we're bringing, like a cultural exchange, like our experience and our stories and our like way of grief. Like we're combining the like Tuliolalian and Turalian ways and our ways and making forging a new way for new technique for grief, but like a new way to grieve for the Alexandrians. King, good to go ahead. Now that you brought it up, I can want to see that pretty much being a Boba Jango. Yeah, exactly, King, exactly. Yoshi P says, Endwalker finished in 6.0, but this time we're returning to how it was before, and this storyline will continue a bit more until point 3. Called it! Yeah, so the point 1 to point 3 is going to be an epilogue for Dawn Trail. The point 1 and point 4 will be a prologue going into 8.0. Like how Heaven's Word, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers were. Realm Reborn and Endwalker are kind of odd ones out in that their patch cycles are kind of one contiguous whole thing. The memorial is an abrupt tonal shift from Smile in the ending. Not at all. It's a very direct continuation. I mean, Smile as a song is very much about people and unity and standing together, but also about the grief of what's lost, and the storms that pass. So I don't think Smile is an abrupt shift to the memorial at all. I think that's a very natural flow into it. Are we going to see the new PvP set? A good chance. I would say there's a very good chance that we'll see the Series 7 rewards. UCP says I also had some sound issues on YouTube recently when I was watching baseball. Oh god, they're going back talking about baseball. Okay, they're now actually getting started. Okay. First off, new main scenario quest, 7.1, Crossroads. Surprising no one.
まあ結構重めの話が展開しつつ、さらにその先どうなるのかっていうのが見えてきますので、まあ あえて伏せてというか語られてない
Let's ball first.
動き出しが始まっていきますんで、ぜひご注目ください。
はい。そして次です。はい。新たな
The new allies society quest Pelu Pelu. And because they're with the Hanu Hanu, the question is, what are the other two allied societies? And presumably the Moblins are one of them because they just do well.
明るくまっすぐ
なるほど。
というのをコンセプトに、
Which kind of leads who's going to be the final ones.
ぜひですね、いろんなキャラクターとの出会い
Yoshi P, I also have some refreshers on what's to come in 7.1.
はい、ありがとうございます。そして続いてこちら。はい。
New custom deliveries, Nito Wikwe. This is the
だろう。
this is the wife that of the trolley guy, the mirrored version on the source.
そこら辺のもしその第一世界でもこうだったらこうだったのかなみたいな。
Although at least on the source she's still alive.
ちょっとやってみようということで。
Dralja was young
はい、こ
once.
ちらパッチ7.15になります。
7.15 でございます。はい。
そして続いてこちら。はい。ロールクエストの
Additional role quests, patch 7.16. Yeah, so the custom deliveries and the role quests won't be out until 2 months from 2 weeks from now. So 10 weeks from now is when we'll get the additional role quest and the custom delivery.
それっぽいのが映っておりましたが、総登場でどうやら
Mikote and Shilone, maybe? Yeah, the Mikote could work. It'll be interesting to see what they go for the last one, because you would hope they'd do something in Jok'Taral, since the first two would probably be in Yok'Taral. In which case, you would hope it'd either be someone in Shilone or someone in Alexandria, or someone somehow in Solution 9 or Living Memory, like some peoples that might still be existent on the 9th reflection. Additional what you makey makey quests. Don't forget to do your what you makey makeys.
大きく催しをやろうじゃないかというストーリーになってますんで、こちらもね、すっきり明るく楽しめる内容になっていますので、それぞれの特徴をね、またちょっとニマニマしつつ、
Yeah, Solution 9 call. Yeah, that definitely would work. Mid-January to early February. 1.6 should be a week or two after 1.5. Yeah. And conceivably further Hildebrand adventures. So pretty much all of this stuff, other than the Allied Society and Zeralja, won't be until 2 months after. Yeah, it should be mid-January. It should be you basically look mid to late January is when all of the 0.5 and 0.6 stuff will be coming out.
そうですね。そうなんですよ。
Yeah, especially the minor but honest ones. Yeah, and if you care about finding more out a little bit more about the oh my god, someone help me, Blue Mage peoples, Walqui, or at the very least a little bit more about fish and ethereal currents. There's definitely do the fishing one. Thank you, Laffy. Is it canon that other races can adopt names from other cultures? Pretty sure that trained people have Tonawada names. Yeah, it's not weird at all. There's plenty of examples, or not plenty of it, but there are quite a few examples of that. Uewata Station, Field Station. Yoshi says, this new Allied Society quest line will be bright and a straightforward one. You need to complete all the role quests in order to unlock the additional one coming in 7.16, same as all the others. You also need to have all the What You Makey Makey quests completed to unlock this extra quest. So What You Makey Makey is basically also effectively being the crafting role quest that you need to have completed to do the final role quest. Yoshi, since this is the first part of the new Hildebrand story, it's a bit of a prologue and an entry into a new storyline. What if Handsome Hildy is them locking in on introducing a reflection version of him? It'll be funny if they do, only because I also like the idea that somehow he's also incredibly singular, but no, I think it's quite possible. That would be really funny if it's like better Hildebrand in every way existed in Alexandria or existed on the 9th. Any stuff in FF9 they could draw on Perilous Uewata Field Station? Thematically, yes. I mean, kind of with basically what the not to do too much spoilers for 9, but what the genomes are. Minstrel Ballads, Fiend's Burden, and notice that there's a new map that she teleports us to, and it's either ice or if it's white like that, it could be the empty or the burn. Because we know she's basically showing us other reflections when she brings us to the other map in the fight. But yeah, basically the whole genome project and all of that in 9 basically could be a very interesting analog for what they're doing in Uewata. Since this new dungeon is part of the MSQ, it will not be as difficult as the extra dungeons we had. But I do feel like we did a bit of a new thing with the third boss. Our guy who programmed the duty support was questioning a little, are we really gonna do this? But yeah, Zidane and his whole peoples and thing could work really well for Uewata and also kind of for Galulja. And yeah, so this is areas to like the north or like the northeast of Heritage Found across the and apparently it was a Tonawadan, or wasn't Hetsaro? Might have been a Shitona village. It was either Tonawadan or Shitonan village that was attacked by Vidral that Zeral just saved once upon a time, but we don't know what happened to it after that. Yoshi P says the normal mode wasn't that hard, right? In extreme, there's just a lot. Will be a lot of ups and downs and something the floor you're standing on, but it's not that difficult. Not too much. Focus on thinking mechanics, but execution mainly. So he's saying that Minstrel's Ballad, so you know, in Terraphos wasn't that hard, and that the EX for Fiend's Burden won't be that hard. It's just gonna be a lot of ups and downs, which makes sense, right? You just take a lot of the mechanics for like elevation and positioning and all that. Jade Stoa Unreal, yep. We knew this. Get ready for falling from the sky for extended periods. The floor goes burr. Yeah, exactly.
入りますんで、ぜひですね、まあ、手すきになってったら。でも、白子もさ、すごくこう、向こう叩いたとこっち叩いて、な、ビタンビタンで、で途中で大きくフェーズが変わる。
Yoshi says a bit longer, maybe a minute than other extremes. 2 totems. So you'll get 2 totems from it, and it's going to be a slightly longer fight by a minute or 2 than EX1 or 2. Which, I mean, honestly, Workers Ormer and actually wait, Workers Ormer's Worker Lador and Everkeep are pretty quick fights, so that makes sense.
実機ではいご覧いただこうかなと思います。はいどうぞご期待ください。はいはいじゃあ続いてこちらですどうぞ。
So you have 200 totems before you see the wings. Futures Rewritten Ultimate will be patch 7.11, so we're going to get that either a week or 2 weeks after. So we should Futures Rewritten should drop either on the 19th or drop on the 26th of November. And then Echoes of Vanadil, Juno, the first walk will drop on day on patch. Elio, are you down to blind prog EX day 1? Yeah, totally, Laffy. I'm so excited for Jade Stoa Unreal. How much more is going to rough us up? Ones are all just swords as the wings, sword wing mount. For Sphene, I assume it'll be like the Queen's mount. If we were gonna get Zeraljas, it would have been in Everkeep. Cloud of Darkness Chaotic will be patched 7.15. Okay, 1.5 is gonna be 1 week after. Well, that's interesting. If 1.5 is gonna be a week after, then maybe Futures Rewritten is gonna be on. I wonder when. Huh? When is 1.1?
そして続いていろんな項目ございますので続いて見ていきましょう。どうぞ。はい。強くてニューゲームがパッチ 7.0 に対応いたします。はいはい。はい。続いて強くていろんな項目を
At least 1 week. Oh, after patch 7.15. Okay. Okay, I follow. Thank you. So we're going to get the 0.15. This is going to be so we're not going to get chaotic for like 2 months or more than 2 months. 2 months and a week. after the patch drop. So we don't get chaotic for almost 3 months. New game plus support for 7.0 at last. Duty support for non-main scenario quest dungeons to be implemented moving forwards. So we're gonna get all dungeons in the game are gonna get duty support. You're gonna implement it bit by bit though. Yoshpi says, we will get a sneak peek on the Alliance raid later. We also some zones in Futures Rewritten Ultimate later, just the early bits. The 24-man Savage will release 1 week after patch 7.15, so in like 3 months. Yep. We will get a detailed schedule later. Hall of the Novice will also be shown later. The updates to Hall of the Novice for people to use. I mean, there's plenty to do in terms of like the patch, the stuff that's going to be written, like the Alliance raids and the MSQ and the trial and EX and stuff. There's going to be quite a bit. Not to mention, now's the time to catch up on shit. If you have not been doing Allied Society quests, if you have not been doing any of the Alliance or any of the raids, if you want to do your Bosnia, Zadnor, Eureka, Heaven on High, Palace of the Dead, like there's a ton to do in game that a lot of people haven't even gotten around to. I mean, if you're an old hat, maybe yeah, it's not that much. But if you're an old hat, you know the cadence of all this because it's the same amount of stuff as always. PvP updates will also be told in more detail later on in the live letter. It'll be Electrope Wings. I mean, Everkeep Wings already border on being Electrope Wings, so they basically are. If anything, I would imagine them being more like Sphene's colors and more like kind of the Queen Eternal. What if we added some ultimate attacks to the Mahjong voices, like they used to have in game centers? Treaters with precious hair, I'm in love with it. I don't know because of the accessory, but there are other hairstyles with accessories, right? So I suppose there should be possible. Sleepy, I don't know. Especially if Pritch is, depending on how much of a custom model Pritch is versus like being based on any, like on the core Eorzean or Hur or... Housing updates. Select interior designs from a different residential area regardless of the location of your plot. So for instance, if you really like the Ishgardian interiors, but you have a house in the Gridanian area, you can still have the Ishgardian interior for the Gridanian area.
今回じゃなくて今後ですけど、まあ、前回の PLL でもお伝えしたんですが、もう S サイズの家なんだけど、あら不思議中に入ったら L サイズの部屋になったみたいなこともちょっとやって、皆さんにいろんな形でハウジングさらにね楽しんでいただこうかなと思ってたりもしますので、はい、はい、こちら大体前回ご紹介したやつですね。はい、ということで前回のおさらいがこんなところでして、じゃあここからは、今日の、パート2として何をご紹介していくかというところに入っていきたいと思います。
Yoshpi forgot one more thing. There's one more quest that he wants to talk about.
なんですけど、今の紹介の中にはなかったんですけど、まあ前回のレイドシリーズであるパンデモニウムが、パンデモニウム、はい、完結したということもあって、
Please tell me that's what I understand what it.
そんな長いクエストじゃもちろんないんですけど。一つ、まあ、アフター的ストーリー、アフター的なやつを。
Yes, please. I think he's talking about an epilogue to Pandemonium.
ちょっとさすがに雰囲気的に70は違うなと思って、なるほど。寝かせてここで。
I might be misunderstanding, but let me.
ぜひですね、ちょっと興味がある方は。はい。
Since the previous raid Pandemonium story concluded, we're adding an extra side quest there. It felt wrong to do that in 7.0, so we're doing it now. Fuck, let's go!
では、ここからはいよいよ。
Honestly, I feel like Pandemonium could have used a little bit of an epilogue, so that's perfect. Okay, Echoes of Vana'diel, Juno, the first walk.
もう実機に行って中であれこれお話ししましょう。
はい、切り替えてよくなったら。
Eden's epilogue is called the entirety of Reen's story and now Gaia's story going on in the first. Yeah, exactly. So, based on the fact that this is core, maybe Shadow Lord isn't the final boss. He may be like the second boss or first boss, like first main boss, first or second main boss for first walk, because if they're gonna do them semi-chronologically, that means the Zillart stuff should come second. So it would be Shadow Lord first, and then the like Fafnir and all that. So it'd be like a condensed version of the story of 11. Ooh. Ooh. Nope, it's on their end. There we go. Okay. So we arrive in Juno. Oh, wow. Wait, okay. We start with the Shadow Lord music? Okay. So we're probably going through Juno and then fighting the Shadow Lord at the top of the Citadel. Yeah, and then we do the Zillar area second. Yeah, that's what we're going. So we're going to fight him at the top of here. So we're going to go, and then the Zillar stuff is going to be second. So that means that we could definitely see like treasures and chains be the like next one, and then we could see wings and what? Am I missing one? Wings and Rhapsodies? No, wait, there's one more I'm missing. Oh, they had the crystals from 11 and the ones they use in 12. That's funny. Foxton says, too much I want to comment on, but we will never finish if I start. Also, there's apparently more to that cutscene. Did's Boggia memory? Definitely, yeah, very similar. Yoshibi says, I can't say how and why we end up here, of course. Especially talking about Cid's memories might be relevant, because there's a good chance that this actually may be a memory onto itself. Like a walk through memories that's called Echoes of Vana'diel. We get multiple images with Echo Vision. We may be like traveling through using a crystal to travel through memory. There's lots of precedent for that. Goblin replica. Goblins, let's go! Yeah, exactly, man. You see, exactly. That's so weird to me that they would start with Shadow Lord as just like the main musical motif. I guess it actually kind of works.
11は僕は史上あれほど美しいゲームはないと思います。本当に。
I mean, it can come up with some sort of way for that. I mean, maybe we're summoning like ethereal projections of champions that were present within the memories themselves. You know, it's easy to come up with reasons why. Yoshipi, as I previously said, the Japanese version will have English target names just like 11. This is not a bug. So you'll notice that the names are in English instead of in Japanese. I think 11 is the most beautiful game. It shouldn't have been running on PS2. But it managed to somehow. I will not be fighting and use the power of God instead. Yeah, so he's just killing them. Please look forward to your smiting. Bakuja. So okay, that's Bakul Jaja. He seems to be kind of hurt. Oh, that's an interesting idea, Kesa. Yeah, I would love it if we could get if we could get like the Blue Mage outfit, or at the very least, you know, it got used somewhat for Galul Jaja. Krish of the Distant Chains makes sense if she's an envoy in some way of Promathia. Or something like that, or at least connected. If we're doing Promathia. Yoshipi, should we give it a go? Yeah, well, you can fall. Of course you can. So apparently you can fall off. You can fall off this stage and die.
だってこんな無防備なヘリはそりゃ落ちますぜ。
It is very interesting that Prish... Is this actually her, or is this a projection of memory?
スンって立ち上がった。
早いんでこの方が。
This boss area is not arena is not OSHA compliant.
開発サーバーなのでやりたい放題です。いった。喋った。
お願いさせて頼むから。
Oh yeah? Come on, let's go. Something like that. Yeah, it turns out, Dark, no matter how much they would like to be, black mages cannot tank. I know that most of you black mages want your ley lines and also want to have heals and mitigation. And while you're at it, just give them, whenever you use limit break, make it tank limit break, healer limit break, and DPS limit break. Fresh got hands. I know this background music is amazing, but when you play, I'm not sure you can listen to the music because you'll be focused on the content. Come on, show me some mechanics. You said it was gonna be hard. I want to know how hard. Oh, interesting, Sleepy. Yeah, there's a chance that it might be the same one, but they've also recasted like the 7 actors, so it's possible that they'll just do a recast. Does 11 have any voice acting? It's black maze. Seems pretty straightforward fight so far. He's talking about the goddess. I couldn't tell if she was talking about herself or if she was talking about... I'll have to translate it later off stream. But she's either talking about her or Altana. Voice line. What? You're done already? I thought we could play a bit more. She's making fun of you. Yeah, that crown above her head. Honestly, it reminds me almost of like something from Nomura. Okay, so we've got Prish, Shadow Lord, Fafnir. Presumably Zillar Boy as maybe the final then, especially if we're going into that. We have Archangels. We saw the Archangels. Interesting. Vanadil final mix. Yeah, exactly. Yoshi, we got asked if you can't freely walk around, but since this is an Alliance raid dungeon, but this will also be an event map, so you can use it for screenshots. Got asked if we can't walk through. I don't know how to parse exactly what he's saying here, other than he's saying that you will be able to take screenshots here, but I don't know if they're gonna do it a la what they did with Nier, where they basically made it a zone you could go walk through, or if they're going to, if they just frickin' implement a an exploration mode for Alliance raid dungeons. Explore mode. It's not clear. The way it's framed, I don't know exactly if they're doing it like Nier or if they're doing Explore mode. I wish they would do an Explore mode. Yeah, maybe something similar. Yeah. Based off of what this is saying, I'm pretty sure he's saying kind of like how Nier was done. But honestly, I wish they would just implement exploration mode for all the Alliance raids. It would make my life so much easier.
でいろんなロケーションもたくさん作ってさっきねトレーラーにも出てましたが、はいありますのでぜひぜひですね11をご存知の方は懐かしく、知らない方は新鮮にで 同じ実は今レシキ固定組んでるんだけど、11出身だよっていう人と、11知らないよっていう人が同じコミュニティ内にいたらですね、ぜひどうだったのかっていうのをね、こう話し合って、
そうですね、
盛り上がってもらえると僕らとしては嬉しい。あとはもう今回もともと11開発から今14チームで開発をしてる人と、11リリース当時は学生で人生を危うく踏み外しかけた。
What's interesting is that furthermore, if this is how they're doing it, unless this is misremembered, this can't be how. This can't be obviously actual 11. So I think that goes along with my idea of the reinterpretation theory. Yoshipi says, oh, but Foxon says, so since I'm not a black man, I didn't notice the 2 stacks of ley lines. Yoshipi, we have a few people on our team who just started playing the game when 11 came out and almost took the wrong path in life. Basically saying people almost lost their life to working playing exclusively 11, which is kind of what happened with Koji, if I remember rightly. He talked about that. Hey, Chaotic Alliance Raid, Cloud of Darkness. Next up is the 24-man Savage. They will hopefully be showing us some of the rewards. I think what he's reaching for is some of the images that will be able to show off the rewards. So I'm guessing we'll either be having armor or weapons or something like that. Hopefully it's not just armor, because, I mean, there's obviously already the one from Syracuse and World of Darkness and what have you. Personally, I hope it's something a little more unique. Like weapons. It'd be great. It'd also be great because then if we ever get Chaotic near, we could get weapons from near, which I know a lot of us want. I didn't play 11, but I'm pretty sure I don't remember a city like that being broken and floating a giant citadel in the distance, except maybe Ganon's Castle Zelda. Yeah, it's not, Juno's not like that in 11 at all. So. Yeah, why does ley lines have 2 stacks? Probably because of, oh, looks like it's armor? Oh, this is for the Alliance raid. So this is the Archangel set is going to be the set that we're getting. Oh, that's fucking rad. Especially if that's dyeable. Especially if it's dual dye channel dyeable. Oh, let's fucking go. I'm sure all the 11 cosplayers are going to be so excited. That does go hard indeed. More all black armor. No, but it's different. It's very different kind. Like the material and the design aesthetic is different, and also it'll be dyeable. So. Hopefully it'll be dual dyeable. I really hope when they go back through the armors in the raids and alliance raids, they're all dual. They are dual dyeable. They haven't all been revised yet. But going forward, they have no excuse. Oh, that looks good. I wouldn't mind a cape, but I will never tire of Yoshi P holding up printouts. I know, right? Why use stills? I don't know that this is why he uses printouts, but I assume it's partly security so that stuff doesn't get out early. I wonder if ever someone tried to like release stuff early, internally. Or maybe it's just because he likes doing it, I don't know. No, they do get the helmets. They get the brow bands. And I would bet you that they do get the hats. Looking at those, I don't think there's anything that would immediately conflict. It's usually more the thin stuff that's the problem. Maybe it's tradition. Yeah, could be. Also, while we give them a second to talk, to catch up, let's go through quick on which ones we think. So that's definitely caster, right? I'm not sure. I'm guessing healer. tank, which ooh, I like that. Oh no, that could be maiming or aiming.
はい。
こっちの方がいいんじゃないか。
なるほど。
そう。やっぱり完全にジョブが一致するわけじゃないから。
確かに確かにそうですよね。
You didn't show one of them. That looks like scouting. I think that last one we looked at was either healer or yeah, striking vibe. Striking definitely could be striking. There's also good. There's one of the ones he didn't show also looks like it could be striking. Yeah.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Mamie is usually remodeled
それ
fending.
では改めまして、次のご紹介に参りましょう。こちらですね。滅アライアンスレイド、滅暗闇の雲撃破。
Okay, they're going to explain more about the chaotic alliance raids, and then they're also going to show some in-game footage.
ですか？ありますか？
ございます。さあ、まず
は
から
敵の前。はい。タイプはい。
です。
How to participate. Unlocked by completing the main scenario quest, Dawn Trail. So you have to have finished 7.0. I'm assuming you also have to have done World of Darkness. Well, oh, I guess you already have. If you could finish Dawn Trail, you would have had to have done it, so never mind. Register for duty via the Raid Finder or Party Finder.
パーティー募集もちろん対応させていただいてます。はい。で、続いて結構大きいのがですね、まあアライアンスレイドベースということで、まあ今固定をこのメッツをクリアするための固定を募集されている方の見たんですが、
It's going to be 2 tank, 4 DPS, 2 healer,
こちらですね、基本
3
パーティ
parties.
ー構成
So
は
usual party compositions, 3 parties, just like normal alliance raids.
ヒーラー ×3 でバランスを取っておりますの
Or
で、
no, actually, sorry, no, 2 tanks. That sorry,
タ
my
ンクっていうイメージが強かったとは思うんですが、
Interesting.
今回2タンク、つまり6
no 2 tanks.
タンク必要です、
I've been doing so much normal raiding lately, I forgot that like alliance raid is different.
そうね、昔
So you're basically all actual raiding parties
2タンクこの構成だった
doing your own individual. Yeah, there's a curveball. Yeah.
ここはですね、
もうこれは痛そう。
Although that allows them to do a lot more interesting stuff for tanking in specific, so I think that makes sense. Probably a good choice.
6人もタンクいるんです。
6-way tank swap.
なので
Well, I mean, just like you even imagine that you've got each party is dealing with its own ad, right? If you don't have 2 tanks, you can't do tank swap mechanics or anything like that from a design standpoint. Party size requirements: 24. Performed alliance raids may undertake the duty with 12 to 24. So you can go as few as 12 people.
足りなくても入りたいっていうお声があるとも
The mad lads, man.
想定しているので、事前にパーティー募集でアライアンス
You know people are going to try to do that week 1.
12人から24人の幅で、
なるほど。
突入は可能となっております。ただし、まあ少人数でクリアしたからといって、なんかこう難易度がアジャストされますよとか。
Difficulty and rewards will remain the same regardless of how many people. Okay, so they're saying that the difficulty is balanced around 24. Even if you go down to 12, it will still be the same as balanced for 24.
とは思います。クリア。
And the rewards will not be any different.
今この背景にあるやつもね、なんかいっぱい
そうね。
いっぱいいろんなことだったんですね。
落ちてくる数分は絶対必要なんだろうなっていう感じですしね。あそこにもうなんか3人ずつ乗れとか言われた時点で、ね、そういうことですよね。
はい。
まあ難易度は、24人で、
そういうことですね。24人
調整されております。はい。
If you want to zone in and practice, you'll need at least 12 people, but the difficulty is adjusted for 24. So if you even want to zone in at all, you need 12.
じゃいますか？
どうやろうな。まあ一回実機行こう。一回実機行こう。
はい。じゃあ一旦生仮面していただいて。
はい。これをまずここまでの状況。
Keeping this info in mind, I will zone in. So he's gonna zone in Zolo. Okay, please do everything you can to make this. Okay, the important thing they need to do is they need to incentivize expert and like players who have cleared to help out players who haven't. Because if they don't, this system's gonna really suck. Because there's just gonna be too many people who aren't gonna have they're never gonna get to do it. Because like people in the North America don't use Party Finder or Duty Finder to get on that, so you're not gonna catch people that way. Or sorry, Party Finder. Duty Finder. Oh my god. This is why you should sleep more, guys. Don't be like me. Cool. And Cloud of Darkness. Ubeteo. And Sexy Cloud of Darkness.
なんかついてきた。
Now there's 3 of them. So I wonder, do you have one party dealing with each
あれ
effectively?
ちょっと多いですね。
You have some mechanics that you're doing as a whole 24 and some things you're doing as a...
いやー近いな。
Not really anything after the armor is not particularly crepe.
欲しい
You need 2 tanks per party for Chaotic Alliance raids. So it's
最近もよく
it's 6 tanks total.
あれで引きそうな。
どうせあれでしょ波動砲波動砲しかしてこない。
波動砲使いで有名な暗闇の雲さん。大。
We'll see once he pulls if they pop up. It may be a phase, Laffy. It may be that like, so we start out all fighting Cloud together and then it shifts over to everybody splits up into groups.
おい痛そう危ねえ。
So far, nothing not particularly crazy. Okay, telegraphed attack on the right.
うん。
Oh, it's a full swipe, so it's not just
大きな声も出ますわな。
it's not just an attack on her left. It's actually like everyone getting tight in on her.
なるほど。
I doubt we'll see all her mechanics.
4月の沖なら
わかるわコメント。
They're gonna show us a couple. They might show us the phase transition of some kind, but we're gonna
じゃねえの？
historically Yoshibita shows very little.
条約違反だ。
So this is, so far is easy enough because not only can you just know where to go, but also you could follow someone.
怖いわ。
これはさっき見たぞ。
はい見た見た。
So that's gonna be the center.
いやいやいやいや。
Cool. I like things that are physically telegraphed, so that's great.
犬と
Interesting. I'm assuming that the map's gonna change. That's usually what that implies.
いやーい。
Yeah.
おっとおい。こんな状
This is cool
況
map.
なんだこの。
It's cool too because this kind of looks like the side view of like when you fight her in 3.
波動砲じゃないやんけ。
確かに。これって波動砲打ってこないけど。
すべては優しき目に変え。
あ、
優しい。
なんか出てきたわ。
Interesting.
避けることに集中しよう。
あ、
I'm assuming that those are just gonna blast in a certain order. I get there's got to be something like there's got to be some sort of spreads or something because otherwise why wouldn't everybody just stack together through that whole thing? All these squares make a circle. Yeah.
大変多数のフェーズが
いやでしょうね。こんだけ見せたってことは。
ございまし
こんだけ見せてもビクともしね。
I wanted to focus on dodging, but that's all I was allowed to show. This will be done with 24 people and has a lot of phases. So like it's gonna be constantly swapping phases.
そうですね。
しかもさっき
Honestly, it looks a lot of fun. And if hopefully if it doesn't ramp up its difficulty too much,
謎の
I think this could be a great thing. But I think chaotic needs to obviously not be an ultimate. And when they said it's EX level difficulty, it really depends on which EX they're talking about.
出てしまいました。すいませんみたいな。
But this needs to be a certain level of approachable, I think, for it to be wildly successful. Because while 5 to 10% of players, I'm sure, want it very challenging, the majority of players, it will just be locked out of it if it's too challenging.
さも含め
まだ出てきてなかった。
Not even because of its difficulty alone, just the having to get 24 people who are all in for
フェーズ
that.
ねございます。
That, or what they can do is they can really deeply incentivize expert players to play with newer players.
床を2人で踏むと
はいはいはい。ピュンって
落
ピュンってなるや
っこちるやつ。で
Yoshpi, do you remember the tile mechanic? If 2 people stand on the same tile, you fall down, like in Eden?
夏。
焦るとあと
Well,
それされて
yeah.
焦って全員
There's gonna be a lot of that.
ポジションに戻ろうとして落とすみたいなのとか
ありましたね。
あったと思うんです。
わあ
Haven't heard about rewards yet. They'll probably show them at the end after he shows all of this.
全面まあまあ
そうですかそうですか。
あとは結構まああんまり言うとねヒントになりすぎちゃうからまああれですけど、
はい。
まあ2タンク2ヒーラー 4DPS
He's explaining the fundamental like reason like why
あと暗闇の雲
they're doing the 2 tank and stuff.
自体もまあ3アラ分かれてみたいなのの走りなんですけどあれ
はいはいはい。ああ確かに。
必ずしも なんですか。
Oh, okay, yeah. So the other thing too is that you could do, so for instance, if you have 2 tanks, you can do support and DPS mechanics. So you can do like stacks on supports or spreads on supports or stacks on DPS or spreads on CPS, but you can also do like pairs. You can do like there's just so many more things you can do as if they do the 2 tank. There will obviously be mechanics that split the groups, but just because it's 3 parties doesn't mean that's how you need to split. But I don't want to say too much. So you could imagine it's 12 and 12, 12 supports and 12 DPS split up. That would be amazing.
割と PVP コンテンツでもフロントラインとかそうですけど、まあ軍師的なね、ここはこういうギミックだろうから、こういう。
And just like PvP or content like Eureka, leadership will be very important.
来るかなと思いますので、まあぜひ何度もチャレンジをして挑んでいただけたらなと。
I mean, who knows that if you let people kind of just shuffle themselves through Ball Disney and Arsenal, I don't think anybody would ever clear it. I mean, that's not true. Plenty of people would. They literally run servers for that. You DPS players don't just jump around, but listen to discussion, okay? YoshiP is specifically calling out DPS players.
まあどんな報酬がもらえるのというところなんですが。
YoshiP, what about rewards? They're going to talk about rewards now. You look tired? Oh yeah, I am tired, just because I've been up. The Monster Hunter Wilds demo dropped last night, so I was up all day. I've been working a bunch the past 2 weeks trying to set up the house and everything. And then I played the Monster Hunter Wild demos, and then I did this, so I'm just tired. Also, I'm very excited. 730 gear. Okay, so interesting. So at least it's got eye level. Mounts, minions, and hairstyles. Okay. Especially if they're sellable, that's fine. If they're sellable, oh, please make them sellable. Because if they're sellable, 1, people can get it even if they don't want to participate in it, and 2, expert players will be further incentivized to play a whole bunch. Please, 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 please make them sellable. Tokens, which can be exchanged for rewards. There will be 2 different mount rewards. Please, please make them sellable. There's some things will be rare drops and you can trade them with tokens. No weekly limit. No weekly limit. Let's fucking go. But so there will be rare items that drop, but you also will have pity. So you'll get tokens to build that. So you'll always be able to earn the thing you want. Awesome. Finally, we get 730 from somewhere else. Yeah. Atmos mount. Yeah, Levi, we were just talking about this. This is so funny. Hairstyles, stalls, balls bouncing on Menfina's teats. Are we gonna get Cloud of Darkness hairdos? Bonus reward system. First time duty bonus. Additional tokens will be rewarded in proportion to the number of Alliance members new to the duty. Yes! Okay, they've made this system actually work. The system is actually gonna work and people are actually gonna be playing it. Okay, this is great. Oh, thanks, easy peasy, yeah. The only thing we don't know yet is if you can sell the items. So if you can't sell the items, I mean, that's cool in one way because it means it's exclusive to people who do the content. On the other hand, I think long-term health of it would be benefited by making the items from it sellable in terms of getting more and more people to do it. Because it means as long as the price for them is always high, there will be incentive for a lot of extra people to come do it, even if they already have the items. Whereas if it's stuck to it, once people have all the stuff they want, they'll just... And since it'll be difficult to find 24 mana every time, we have a bonus system. And since your first clear will be 24 people, that will be a lot of bonus. So that means if you can clear with 24 brand new people, you will get the bonus for all 24 people. So, yeah. So there's just tons of incentives. YoshiP is cooking, yeah. This is 100% how to Savage, yep. This will be a great way to get people into doing Savage and maybe even Ultimates. And also people have been asking for EX Savage, EX or Savage Alliance raids for forever. These limited time bonus effects will be different depending on the DC you play on, just like a good old light farm. Limited time level bonus, a randomly occurring reward bonus that persists for several hours. Enter the duty during this period for improved drop rates and additional tokens. Okay. That's fascinating. Fascinating. Okay, so randomly throughout, I don't know if it's going to be the day, the week, the month, they're going to be randomly occurring reward bonus that persists for several hours. Enter the duty during this period for improved drop rates and additional token. That is... So they can basically spin up the drop rate if they want to get more people playing it. That's... Huh. That's crazy.
ぜひぜひ使ってみていただきたいなと。ね、例えばですけど、特定の DC で発生してるよ。
Yeah, exactly, Laffy. Yeah. So we'll never know what the effect is on NTC besides Aether. I've always been absolutely terrified of Savage. This is straight up going to be the let's give a shot, why not for me. Yeah, go for Nemesis. Also, if you're terrified of Savage, do the EXs, do current EXs, and if you get to the point you feel pretty comfortable with that, go do a synced down old Savage. Big recommend for doing the first 4 of Omega. Great way to start. First 4 of Eden is also a pretty good way to start. Savage is more approachable than some people think it is, especially if you are doing synced old ones. It does help to have someone who's done some of them, though, yeah. Thanks, Grim. Coils are okay. Coils have a lot of issue, particularly, like, specific fights. Like, maybe if you're talking about, like, the Avatar or Nail or Phoenix or Bahamut, but a bunch of the... Maybe Melusine, but a bunch of the fights are, like... A bunch of the, even then, like a lot of them are wonky. Like Nail is, I guess Nail would be a pretty okay one, but even Nail still. Ooh! Diablos armor, let's fucking go. Healer, oh man. Oh, wait, that is from something. What is that reminding him of? I know that's something. But ooh, fucking Diablos armor. That is, oh, that's dieable, man. Oh, dude. Devil Trigger. It absolutely looks like Dante's Devil Trigger. Infinite, you gotta get to do Dante from the Devil May Cry series now with that. And we are aware that this might mean that there won't be PFs outside of bonus times, but we want to give this system a try. Yeah, I think this bonus system actually might be a decent idea to kind of make it so that there's consolidated points in which people are doing it. Okay, they're showing off some more of the mounts. Barrel tender mount! Yeah! Sorry. There's a barrel tender mount. There's a barrel tender mount. There's a barrel tender mount. There's a barrel tender mount! I'm very excited. I love cactars, okay? It's not my fault. I'm sorry if I woke you up, V. Ooh, okay, that's cool. It's the little pyramid things from the... That's actually pretty rad. Triangle. Yeah. All of you have been all y'all been stuck on the Eurekan sphere forever. Now y'all gonna have triangle. I know it's a pyramid, but you yeah. The chunky boy, yeah. Barrel tender. There's a barrel tender mount. You can see him here. Oh, they have the wings too. They've got Sven's wings, it looks like. And then the cloud from the Cloud of Darkness is gonna be a purple like miasma cloud. That's funny. Is it gonna be circular or is it gonna be just like the one from the cash shop and from Amazon? Oh, interesting. No, you like are. Oh my! You get like the trails and tendrils of the Cloud of Darkness. You become the Cloud of Darkness. That's so funny. Also, I missed the dismount animation before. Let me. Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh, you panic because it's gonna fall, because it does the falling countdown thing. Oh, that's really funny. That's incredibly meme worthy. Yeah, so we're gonna probably be running Chaotic Alliance raids for a while, aren't we? I mean, to be fair, we could probably do a whole bunch in one day, right? Because, to be fair, there's no weekly limit, there's no lockout. We can do it as much as we want. So maybe we, instead of doing mount farming, once people start getting their wings, finish getting their wings over on the T Discord, we could swap to doing some of these. Although we need, the problem is we need 24. I mean, there's always party fire there though. When people question if you're evil or not. Well, I mean, look, have you seen his Lalafell? I can't tell what it is, but there's also another mountain here. I assume that might be for the Pelu Pelu Allied Society quest. Yoshibi, this will become the cloud. You become the cloud of darkness. Oh, that's funny. So the countdown technically, I mean, you can just dismount normally from the mount, but the action does dismount you. That's funny for the countdown. Unity. Oh, it does look like one. Yeah. It does look like, yeah, I think you're right. That is what it is. From the Ikutu, oh my god, I had struggle with the names. First dungeon of Dawn Trail. That is definitely what it is. It's hard to tell because it's so compressed, but gotta love YouTube compression. Thank you, V. Yes, join our Discord for lore talk and community events. We do stuff every week. Ihu. I'm looking forward to the replay on Elio practicing saying some of these goddamn names. Some rewards can be market boards, probably the hairstyle at least. Yeah. Manatee mount pretty bust, yeah. You ordering? Yes, the alpha plushie. Yeah. I got one of those when we were at FanFest. When I was at FanFest, NA FanFest. You'll get there. Thanks, Slappy. Thanks for believing me. A few of these rewards can be sold on the market board. You Eorzeans are rich, right? Interesting. It says a few of these rewards. I'm assuming why he's saying a few is that the armor won't be, but the mounts and the hairstyles will. That's my interpretation of what he's saying here. Chaotic blind farm event when. Yeah. I get this assumption that like me, V, Laffy, Crepe, and a bunch of us are gonna like week 1 be doing a whole bunch of it in Party Finder or whatever. Make something to make people waste more. Look, they gave us the bike, right? And there's a good chance we'll get more gold mounts. We got more gold mounts and Endwalker, so probably we'll get somewhere in the patch content. We'll see 1 or 2 gold mounts. You know, okay, here's an idea, Haku. You've noticed people with max skill. What if, and just hear me out, you had them give me some of that gil so I can finish getting the gold mounts? I'm just saying, it's just a thought. Just a thought. Just an idea. Yeah, but it was a good passive gil sync in that like it's not just for the rich people, it's for like the average player might have that. So in some ways I wonder if the bikes actually got rid of more gil from the system than some of the gold mounts by dint of the fact that even though it's like 1/4 of like a 25 million, it's a little more, it is way more people bought it. Hooray, good to glad to have you. The bike is the only gil sync mount I've ever actually bought. Okay, you are a perfect example of my point. Yeah, Crepe. Yeah. Yes, with an 80% interest rate. Okay, so this is important. Yoshibi's talking. We wanted to match extreme difficulty at first, but I would say the mechanics themselves are like the first floor of Savage. But when you consider doing it as 24 people, it might bump it up to the level of a second Savage floor. Have any of you formed a 24-man static yet? Someone is saying they've already disbanded. Yeah. It's interesting that he says that. I'd be very, very curious to see which Savage fights he analogizes that to, and I also wonder how much that'll be true. I expect the 24-man, the being that many people and the weak links being more of an issue will be a problem, but at the same time, if there are fewer mechanics that one or two people fail and everybody fails, if there's fewer of those, I actually would imagine that this difficulty would be lower, because those are the things that get most people, right? People are able to recover pretty easy from losing a couple people if they're allowed to. Webs like onto chains. These are my special cells. M2S will be easier than Cloud of Darkness normal. Oh, I see the triple team set. Yeah. Okay, talking about PvP updates next. We know that they're adding some new abilities and stuff as well. So they're not just talking about rewards, but we knew that Crystalline Conflict. We may get some maps back, be it the Rival Wing maps. And for the love of God, please just give us a Rival Wing roulette. If they do, be ready. I will scream again. I'm gonna aim it that way though, because we need a Rival Wings roulette, please. PvP action, execution, hit detection. They talked about this at level 1. Yeah. They talked about hit detection being updated because the amount of times that, like, you basically are a mile away from a warrior and they still manage to just like go leap to you. Until now, hit detection was triggered at the time of action execution. This is what they said last time, so we should know. This is nothing to do here. Barrel tender mount, Ray. Until now, hit detection was triggered until time of execution. Timing of hit detection will be better match visual effects now.
即時発動判定の方が絶対使いやすいみたいなものに関してはエフェクト待ってからだと遅かったりするので、そういう即時発動の方が手触りがいいみたいなアクションに関しては Actions which feel more responsive with immediate hit detection will be addressed on an individual basis. Timing of hit detection will better match visual. See, it's hard, it's impossible to know what that's going to be like until we see it. I really do hope that this makes PvP feel better. Feel more responsive, but not more responsive. No netcode fixes coming after. I mean, there's some that there has been netcode improvements, Dan, but like, to be fair, I think they're dealing with a underlying system that prevents some of those changes. And also the second order effects that come from some changes, even if maybe they can't implement them. But yeah, I wouldn't expect that. But what I would say is that it doesn't matter if the netcode isn't changed. If it feels better to play, that's just a win, right? Because that's what matters. The net, like, this, obviously the real world doesn't work like this, but the netcode could be the absolute worst, but if the game feels perfect, that's all that matters. The netcode could be great, but if it feels like shit, then it doesn't matter. Obviously, in general, if you have better connection and better, you know, responsiveness via the netcode, it's gonna feel better anyways. So, major additions and adjustments to PvP actions. They're changing up Pictomancer. They're addition and removal of PvP actions for each job. Sorry, they were using Pictomancer as an example. New actions were added, some were removed, as well as Viper and Pictor, no change because they have only been added recently. They're adding they're adding to make things more in line with Viper and Pictomancer, was their example. Black Mage will change a lot, for example, says Yoshi. It's funny you say that, Levi, because do you mean like internet-wise or something? Because it's funny, the PvP is so much, I wouldn't say so much better now, but for a long time, PvP was an interesting case where it worked better. Like, it was so, because it was the abilities and stuff were so refined down, it was like the more fun console experience in some way. Yeah. No, targeting. Oh, yeah, targeting, I bet, is a nightmare. Addition and removal of PvP actions for each job. Significant balance adjustments. Make Paladin better, so I can just main Paladin. Also, don't ruin Scholar. Actually, it's fine if you ruin Scholar. However, I love playing Scholar, so if you do, I may play less PvP. Although, at the same time, I'm sure 1,001 people out there would love it if Scholar was not the bane of their existence. I mean, obviously, it's no Astrologe and Dark Knight combo. Certain limit breaks will receive adjustments to gauge charge time and more. Cool. Yeah. 変わらない人もいるし。
Yeah, it's interesting, Dulhan. It does, but you also don't want to make it a powerhouse to the same degree as some of the others because I think they want to keep some of its identity of like the mitigation and all that. But it definitely, it's too underpowered. Like you can survive for as long as you want, but you can't really do shit.
とか、それから次の項目。
Adjustment to frontline rivalings, damage dealt and damage taken. I'm assuming damage dealt and damage dealt is going to be up, damage taken is going to be increased.
取り直し、今の性能を見た上で取り直しを
Because they've been trying to increase the speed of rounds lately, so I'm assuming it's going to be.
こちらのコンテンツ専用でリミットブレイクの蓄積時間、こちらはクリスタルコンフリクトとまた分けてですね。
They haven't said the specifics of what's going to change exactly.
そうじゃないのとあるんで、こちらもジョブごとにかなり細かく調整をさせていただいてます。さらにですね、気候兵器の性能がですね、大変弱いのではないかというお叱りもございまして、こちらも再調整かなりかけております。
Machina functionality. Ooh, okay. So like the Brute Justice and Cruise Chaser and all that.
ライバルウィングズ大規模 PVP コンテンツ専用のロールアクション。大規模用で威力を発揮する各ロールのアクションというのを追加しようとしてたんですが、どうしてもですね、最終バランス。
I expect Paladin to love its Confeteor combo on its limit break and gain Blade of Honor, switching it from multiple hits to one singular big hit. That's an interesting idea, Neko.
調整だったりとか、大規模に始めていきますので、7.1、7.2 と継続して、はい。状況を見て。
That's a very interesting idea. It'd be nice if they worked Guardian in some way.
で、というわけで改めて続いて PVP シリーズ
Series 7?
7が開始と。
Probably will see some of the rewards are.
さらに。
Will they fucking announce also when they're gonna bring old series rewards back? Because they said it for forever. They said forever ago that when they first introduced the idea in Endwalker, they said they were gonna bring it. They promised to bring it back at some point. The rewards back at some point, but they haven't. I really want some content creator or someone, you know, hopefully someday maybe I'll get a chance, but like I want someone to ask OGP like, have they just dropped that idea? Because if so, okay, at least let me know that.
ご覧いただこうと思います。
はい、お願いします。
こちらが従来の
Cloud 9. So
7.0 のクラウド9。
this is what it looks like currently.
7.1 以降。
Wait, don't change Cloud 9. I like Cloud 9.
違いが分かる。
Okay. Okay, no, those are good changes. These are good changes. These make the centers more these make it so that the centers are less of these no man's lands of just you get absolutely pounded. You actually have some strategic choices in the center. Yeah, these are good changes.
遮蔽物が増えているのがちょっと比較出せます？いや、1個進んで並べたやつでも大丈夫ですよ。はいはい。まあやっぱりクラウド9って、中央部分でいやこれだとやっぱ分かんないね。
Yeah, these are good changes.
そこもなんだ並べたんじゃなくてそう変わるんだ。
2箇所そうですね。主に。そうですね。
クラウド9中央マップそれから。
In some ways, it's almost surprising that these weren't here in the first place. That changes rewards each week, which has some old PvP rewards. I mean, yeah, that'd be fine. I'd be fine also if, like, literally you can buy the old PvP rewards, but it's like 20,000 crystals for each one. Like, it can be a ridiculous sum. I don't care if it's 100,000 crystals. I don't care what it is, as long as I can work towards achieving it. I just hate shit that's, like, gone forever. I have no patience for. Oh, this tried to be changed. To be fair, Neko, it is kind of supposed to be that by nature, but yeah, you're not wrong. It is kind of supposed to be the vanilla one. Okay, Red Sands, how are you changing it? Are you gonna shrink it a little bit? No, you're gonna add more lanes. Okay. Yep, that makes sense. Yeah. Presuming that they're not going to change the overall like size of the map, this is a good solution because this makes maneuvering around it. Because like right now the problem is like there are so many zones where you can get in Red Sands where you just like kind of need to run for 15 seconds. I just like some of the old PvP rewards come back. I'm pissed I missed out on the eyewear version of the Nero sunglasses. Yeah, exactly, Nemesis. They said that those rewards were going to come back when they first introduced the series rewards. They said they were going to reintroduce them at some point down the line. They just haven't yet. I don't know if they forgot. I don't know if they still have a plan. I don't know what's going on there. Someone needs to ask OGP that.
なのでこちらもですねぜひプレイをしてフィードバックしていただけたら。
はい。
で一応ちょっとクリスタルコンフリクトというかまあ PVP 全体なんですけど、
はい、
今回まあいろんなアクションを追加してその判定タイミングも変えたのでヒットポイントは結構そこは
Because your movement path is narrower now, the tornado might feel more dangerous. Talking about the old one and the red sands. It was difficult to return to the battle because of the routes being so fixed. Yep. As always, please give us your feedback on how the changes maps will feel. Also, if you want to give feedback on PvP, I'm not kidding. Everybody thinks this is a joke because they're so used to developers not listening. Go on the Final Fantasy XIV forums. Make a post about wanting series rewards to come back in some ways. That information does, if enough people are talking about that on the forums, it does make its way back to the devs. One way or another. Especially those conversations are being had a lot.
でさらにこちらがPVP アップデートだと一番大きい。
はい。じゃあ再びパワーポイントお願いします。
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at all that, but yeah, that'll happen. Crystalline conflict ranked match changes. Okay, go on. Starting with season 12 and patch 7.1, rankings will be determined per region rather than per data center.
トップを今 DC ごとになってると思うんですけど、
That-
ランキングに変更
It's
し
a
ます。
bummer.
でどういうことかというと、
はい
ちょっとこれ持ち
What's the
回りに
reasoning
な
for
るんですけ
this?
ど、
This just makes it harder for more people to have higher ranking.
各リージョン
Ranked matches will be held in one data center per region.
え
Wait, what?
データセンター
What?
全体だと
Okay, hopefully,
DC でランクマッチが開催
you're
さ
not
れてます。
saying that we have to all like go to that data center, right? Like we can do ranked match even if we're not in that data center,
こんな感
right?
じにシーズン12
Because if not,
日本はガイアで
this is bad. This is just this is actively bad. This just means like Aether and Crystal people are just like
各 DC
deeply de-incentivized from doing any
申請
ranked.
してください。でこれ日中がどうしても
Players may register for matches from the designated data center.
でまあマッチングをとにかくたくさんさらに、まあ、夜はねかなり回るんですけど、やっぱり日中皆さん学校お仕事っていう時間帯
This is what it's saying. They're basically saying you
まあそこを解消したい。
they want to change the this data center each season. This is terrible. This is actually a really bad. This is genuinely bad. So their thought is they're gonna rotate which data center it is, but I think this is just a.
どうなるんだろう。
I hope they provide some at least some explanation.
はい今回の新しいランキング
I'm sure that they had to have a reason. Only the best performing characters on a service account will be listed in the
最も
rankings.
成績の良い1キャラクターのみランキングに反映される
On
よ
a
うになり
service
ます
account,
ので、
will be listed.
サブキャラクター作ってランキングに何人も入れるみたいなことっていうのは統一アカウントである限りは判定して一番成績のいい1キャラだけ、ランキングに登録するっていう形。
I expect, yeah, retracting that change. Yeah, I do too. Infinite. This is.
それぞれの DC のランキング
Does it sound like a case? Can you help me understand? I don't even think it sounds like a good idea on paper.
促進させてコミュニティをさらにね一つにして大きくしたいっていうところもあるので、まあ皆さんでやっていただこうと
No
思
more
って
PvP.
ます。
Yes, PvP alts is absolutely a thing, and people like win trading and stuff used to be, at least when Feast and stuff was around, was a big problem. It's why the Feast went away, or at least part of it. In accordance with rankings being consolidated to one data center per region, the number of placements for rewards will be adjusted. Okay. Okay. That's better. It still, I think, is a bad idea. I'm assuming it's got to be solving some problem I'm not thinking about.
広げてまいります。でこちらもう一個オセアニアに関してなんですけど、従来からランキング
Shorten queue times.
当面順位
The problem is that it may not shorten queue
変えま
times
せんので、
because people just won't go over, so there's going to be fewer people participating.
だからオセアニアに行け
Like people who would have just tried it out or done it aren't going to go out of their way to like go over to Primal or figure out why they can't.
本当はまあどのワールドからでもね一個のあんま言うとあれだな。ちょっと今回のこの措置生紙に戻して
Give higher rankers more than no, fuck that, Neko. What if they do that? I will literally like.
対応って
I cannot state how specifically I
本来はね
absolutely fucking hate exclusivity rewards like that.
まあまあまあまあ
Because it is you. Hey, were you not there? Hey, can you not get it? You don't ever have a chance. You can't work towards it. No, you just don't get it. That is just bad. I hate that shit so much.
いろいろやってるのでこの
Like, make it so that, like, okay, it's the same armor every time. That doesn't work, obviously, because people who do PvP consistently then are feel de-incentivized to do it. Because then at least there's always the chance doing. But I fucking, yeah, ranked fest says hi. Exactly. Fuck that shit. I have quit games because of that stuff. I want to be able to work towards my stuff. You know? Gives people more reason to play in mode, though. Enough people already don't do it. But that's not gonna, Neko, that's not gonna make more people play it. It's going to make the people who are already playing it get stuff. This is what happened with Feast. What you're describing is literally what happened already in the history of 14 when they created the Feast. Like, this is exactly what happened in the past and why they got rid of it. That's why we have the series system now, where that you're rewarded for playing a whole bunch and getting the crystals and getting the rewards there, because then everybody can work towards it and something people can work towards. And at the high end, they do have the weapon. Their way for doing that is having all the different flame weapons that you can get and their adjustment. There are things that you can get at the high end. Yeah, and I have enough FOMO already. Yeah. What happens if you do that is you are rewarding a small number of people for playing a lot, and you're de-incentivizing anyone who's even remotely casual from even trying, if you do that. I know many people in PvP Revival, PvP Princess, and a few other communities. Yes, I absolutely, Neko. I'm sure they do. Those are the places where, because those are the people who exist at the high end who want to go hardcore on it, right? I understand why those people want that. What I'm saying, though, is that does not solve the problem of getting more people to play. It worsens it. It definitely makes the people who are already very, very interested get more, and I get that. But the thing is, you can also do that by instead making really high crystal things. Or, like, you can do other ways of doing that will get other players to play as well and work towards something, as opposed to just making exclusivity the only way to reward players who play a lot of PvP. Because if you do that, you're just saying that, like, hey, if you really want this thing, but you're not super into PvP, too bad. Go home. Go cry about it. And, like, again, I totally get why people who, like, love PvP in the game and want to go hardcore and want to be rewarded for it want that. I'm not saying that that's completely unreasonable. What I'm saying is, as someone who loves to play a lot of PvP but does not have the time to play hardcore, or also does not have to play to hard to get ranked first all the time, that actively makes me want to play the game as a whole less, because it means I can never work towards everything. Okay. This is not entirely what I want to do, says Yoshi P. Like, ideally, you should just match from wherever, right? But I can't say this yet. We are working on a matching system that involves every kind of content. As soon as I have more news, I will make the announcement. So, on a matching system that involves that. So it looks like they're going to update the matching system in general to be able to connect across data centers. Okay, it's time for a break. Continuing at the 45, so in 15 minutes. And the content for the break will be a video from the Chinese FanFest from Gamescom PAX West. Schedule was hell, never again. And since FF16 released for PC now, there will be a PC version trailer and a trailer from Sakaguchi-san. Okay, we're going to move over to watch the 7.1 trailer. That's the German one. Here's the English one. We'll watch that in a second. But yeah, it's how I feel with Ultimates, but I don't have the brain power to get those way. But okay, here's the difference. Here's the difference, Neko. The difference is that Ultimates are not timed exclusives and don't go away. If Ultimates did that, I would 100,000% agree with you. If Ultimates were only around for an expansion and then they went away permanently, then yeah, fuck that shit. However, Ultimates will always be there, and you could always decide at some point to devote the time and energy to learning one, right? That's the difference. There are plenty of things that I don't know I'll ever get around to, but I will always have the option to do it, and that's what matters. Okay. The feast is still a thing I'm mad about today. Yeah. My favorite armor in Final Fantasy XIV was a feast reward, and I will never be able to get it because it's never been brought back. Oh, thank you. So, yeah. Okay, shall we watch the trailer? FOMO is one of the main reasons I quit D2. Yeah. It's one of the main reasons I quit WoW. It's one of the main reasons I quit Guild Wars 2. It's one of the main reasons. I mean, Guild Wars 2 a little less so. There were a lot of other reasons, but that was the only part. Pretty much almost, yeah. Thank you, person who handed out some hydration. That was V. V handed me some hydration. Okay. Let's study this. We got 15 minutes. Ooh, look, these are like shades of people. That's interesting. I'm not saying Feast Wing couldn't be fun. All I'm saying is that if you make rewards timed exclusives, like part of the reason I'm even like semi not annoyed by like event mounts, like holiday event mounts, is the fact that at least they put them in the store. So at least at some point I could buy them if I saved money, right? Whereas if it's timed exclusivity and you're just borked, yeah. Hey, thanks, Gregorius. Although you enjoyed stuff. Is V camera shy? A little bit. Echoes, you might even say, yeah. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, so this is Juno, but this almost looks like, look, the daytime is everything looks normal now. And everything, there isn't the floating stuff. So this looks like this will either be before or after that event. And we've got the, after when we go there. So we've got this. This is the, is it floating the floating skyline? But this is where Fafnir is. This is a Zillart location, I'm pretty sure. Although maybe it's the forest from, I'm not sure. But this is, I'm not crazy, right? For all those 11 heads out there, this is from Rise of Zillart, right? New Lord gonna drop hard indeed. And then this, so this is now actually when we go in and fight. Yeah, that's not Dynamis like in the raid itself. Yeah, it does look like the Realm of Dynamis. Absolutely. The backdrop and stuff definitely looks like the Realm of Dynamis from 11. So it looks like this Aetheryte is going to be a memorial. I bet it's going to be engraved, kind of like how Jobstones work, right? But this Aetheryte is going to effectively be engraved with people's like recollections and memories and stuff, like how the Yokui have their grave sites. And that's effectively what this is. This is a memorial to Sphene and to the people's memories. Because they have not had to deal with grief, right? They need a way to be able to contend with and deal with and accept and move on in this new world and without their queen, right? And if I'm not mistaken, this is where this is the Soul Supply Depot area, because this is like where the Soul Supply. I think it's probably going to change in 7.1 since the whole Soul Supply system might be going away. In fact, if you look, I don't see any of them have any of their why am I forgetting the term? One of you guys will get regulators.
Was Queen Sphene taken to the cloud?
Was Queen Sphene taken? No, okay, they do have the regulators on still. Okay.
She must have been. To still remember her is strange. Even though I remember her, I'll never see her again. It seems that's what it means to die, I'm afraid.
I told you, it's literally going to be a patch all about like them learning to deal with grief.
But
yeah, exactly, Nemesis.
what will happen to us? Are we just going to be sad forever?
This is interesting. So
Sad forever?
this seems like this is Gulja's recollection. So this is clearly Zeralja, and this is clearly a female, you know, Mamalja. So like the thought is like, okay, maybe he's a byproduct of this union, right, and the creation of him. I feel like this is a either misunderstanding, misrecollection of actually the nature of his creation, but we'll see. Just like if you look, it's.
I'm afraid. Even though I remember her,
So you got.
strange
So if we go,
been.
you all out station entrance. So clearly, still you've got raw electrope
To still
and
remember
everything
her.
going out here. But you've got zombie people, but you've got clearly people in this, which also reminds me of FF7, but it also reminds me of the Genome Project stuff going on in 9, which means that these probably are just vacant vessels, much like what, if you've played 9, you know what I'm talking about. Which also might explain what originally Gulja was for, or Gulja. And you'll notice that we're doing the dungeon, and he's coming with us still. So also you see the same chambers, and we talked about this over in our Lore Book Club over on the Discord, but these the chambers, I was speculated might be housing containers for clones or peoples or whatever, and it looks like that actually might be correct.
Even though I remember her, I'll never see her again.
What's interesting is you see this like crater here, however, you see that similar crater later on as well. Also, there's some sort of creature in here. I wonder if that's if that's boss 2 or something.
It seems that's what it means to die, I'm afraid.
Alatali duty support.
What? Are we just going to be sad forever?
What do you desire?
Something that
Notice that this is his memory, right? So you can even tell this is an echo vision from the vignetting and the color. Or not an echo vision, but a memory. Although it might be an echo vision of us from seeing his perspective.
something that I had accepted I would never have in Eorzean. That I believed
This is what I was talking about.
I had accepted I would never have in Eorzean.
This is the same thing that we saw on the computer.
That I believed would forever be beyond never having Eorzean. That I believed would forever.
This seems like it's part of the Uwada station. So this seems like this is on the outside of the station, maybe on the other end of it. Also, we know that the Vidral used living aether magics, or at least Valigarmanda did. Specifically, like the flames used living aether. Magics could basically act as a form of living aether because they could consume the aether around them to exist perpetually. Perhaps this is whatever Vidral they fought here, a remnant of H magics, absorbing the surrounding aether and using it to create to continue its effects.
Ever be beyond me. That it was foolish to covet.
Interesting. So the person who's talking is what looks like the mom of Ghoul Jaja, or nurse, or whatever.
That I had accepted I would.
What is she saying?
Desire.
Something that I had accepted I would never have in Eorzean. That I believed would forever be beyond me. That it was foolish to covet.
Something she believes she would never have in Tuliolal. I'm guessing it's a child. I'm guessing the thing that she wanted was a child, but she couldn't have one. And the thing that she coveted was, and that's where. But I don't think she actually has one. I think she basically is able to instead take care of Gulja and basically becomes a sort of surrogate to him, a surrogate mother, and she becomes a surrogate child in some ways. Well, she probably doesn't. Things don't end well. I'm okay. All of this is presumpted under the assumption that I'm correct about the nature of Gulja, which we don't know, but I feel fairly confident.
Even should it cost me my life, I will save the Hexa!
What? He'll save the who? Does he say I'll save the Hetzaro?
I will save the Hexa!
The heads? I can't. We don't have captions. He doesn't say the Exarch, no.
Even should it cost me my life, I will save the Hexa!
I can't quite tell. It sounds kind of like Hetzar. Oh, Hetzo. Yes, the Hetzaro Spirit Emerald. Good call, Infinite. That's Aurosite. I wonder what's contained within. Look at this boy! It looks like we're getting either a trial on the Worker Zormer, or at least some kind of fight. Maybe it's a duty? No, look, this actually might be for the role. I think this is the role quest. But it looks like there's going to be a fight on Zorgor the Boundless. Did I say Worker Zormer? Zorgor the Boundless. Also, what the fuck is going on with this boy? That Aether looks stagnant as all hell. That's not good. My boy needs a Sunny D. Damn, looking good. Yeah, that I don't think that's our Hildebrand, or at the very least that we have not seen our Hildebrand acting like that ever before.
Come, mortal. Allow me to show you the depths of my hatred.
I bet you that's the Shadow Lord. At least that sounds like him. Now we're having a party. Yeah, so I think so we're fighting through Juno. I think it's gonna be at the top of the tower, as opposed to like under in the crypts where it's originally, because you can see the sky above, which is different than in 11. However, the summoning of him that's great.
As the spate of my rage quenches the candle of your trivial existence.
Assuming that is for 11, that is definitely the Shadow Lord, because that his rage, his like all the specific elements he's talking about are specific to him.
I cannot die. Not until I have eradicated you and your kind from this world.
Yeah, that's definitely Shadow Lord. We have Hildebrand. We don't know. We haven't come across any other versions of Hildebrand and other reflections, and not everyone repeats necessarily.
At last. Here and now I shall fulfill our promise.
Booyah. Okay. Battle, hey, Desco's here. Yeah, battle on the bridge, Hildy. I don't think it's gonna be Hildebrand. I mean, I think it's gonna be for the role quest. If you remember in Endwalker, you had the whole duty with the leaders of the different nations and with Fortunal. I think this is gonna be more akin to that. Coffee biscuits, Elder. Eradicate you and your kind is so Shadow Lord coded it might be well direct quote from 11. Yeah, exactly, Infinite. Yeah, you get it. I think the Cloud of Darkness is a minstrel story thing, or actually a finally reformed, probably a 13th. We're good. I think minstrel, no question, it's a minstrel thing. Their reformation could make sense. However, the domain does not necessarily. The broader conflict with the broader questions and conflict that would arise with Golbez and Zero and their involvement with it. Like, there's too many questions that arise from if it's actually going to the actual 13th and dealing with it. Even like just the manifestations of her second selves. Like, there's so many questions that arise that, like, while it's not impossible, I would be almost certain that it makes the most sense for it to just be a, we talk to the wanting minstrel, the same way that you talk to him for ultimates or EXs. I think that's just the most likely rationale. Don't forget their Nixie, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we got 2 minutes. So let's go ahead and step a little step back. So what do y'all think about that trailer? I'm excited for the 7.1 trailer, obviously. I will say the 0.1 is always pretty low key. Like if you think about the other 0.1s, you know, 5.1 is mainly set up. You know, you've got Grand Cosmos and stuff, but you're mainly setting things. Why didn't we get a giant Aetherite? Why didn't we get a giant fucking what? No, man. I want a giant Vritra. Man, I need to build an Aetherite in the backdrop. I'm currently building shelves to go back behind me to house everything. I should just build a Magnetic Aetherite. You got an Aetherite in London? Fuck! Vegas couldn't handle the Aetherite. Also, I really want to get like one of the a version of the carrots from PAX Austin. Oh. They really spoiled CN FanFest. It seems like they went pretty hard, relatively speaking, for CN and Korean FanFest. And that's kind of exciting. Like, the fact that there was any news for the game is exciting. I think it was either Korea or China. One of them they were saying was gonna. I think it's Korea. They were bringing in trying to bring in parallel release for NA. For world, basically for the rest of the world. What was I'm pretty sure it was Korean FanFest. They like pointed out that the statistics were like 90% of their player base was female, which I thought was hilarious. I just want to say China fans are intense. Yeah, I mean you kind of have to be, right? With like the level of like difficulty, like when you're not the main served audience for a game like this, when you have a server, if it exists at all, the people who are there are fucking there, right? They are like yeah. Okay. And we're back.
14の休憩といえば思い出動画なんですけど、ついにね、はい、ファイナルファンタジー14ファンフェスティバル2023、2024全日程が完結しましたね。
Hey, let's fucking go!
いやー、この曲を聴くとね、
始まってしまった。
How far was I? How close was I? Let's see.
開発パネルかなみたいなね。
They're announcing FanFest.
なんですけ
Or
ど
at least they're
はい
kind of referencing it.
次の準備やん終わったんだけどさ
This means that all 2023 form events are done as well, yes.
ファンフェスの準備をすると
Sorry, not announcing FanFest, I just mean talking about it.
えー
Sorry, the way he was talking, I thought he was like,
今ね
he's kind of like, it's all done, and
何が辛いってね、
うん
一番ファンフェスの準備をするときに一番最初に来る工程は、
うん
場所探し。
そうですね場所探し
場所が決まらないと日程が決まらない。
no, I didn't laugh. I didn't see that was a thing.
今していただいてる
But that also means we need to prepare the next one. A year without FanFest means a year prep for FanFest. The most difficult is finding a venue. I mean, yeah, the one thing we knew was it was going to be 2026, right? So right now, my prediction is FanFest will be in February of 2026 if they want to release in, assuming they want to release summer of 2026, which would be assuming they don't want to do a winter release again. That would be it, because they like doing a summer release. However, if we saw a fall or winter release, at current cadence, we would see 8.0 would be a December or January release in 2027. However, if the intra patch is 6 months, however, they may want to abridge that and have it be shorter so that it remain in summer, but we'll see.
を戦い抜かねばならないシーズンが、間もなくやってくるんだか、もう一つ形
Well, no, because they still the 0.1 patch. Well, because they were also talking with Dilhan about the like cosmic exploration and other stuff in future patches as well. So there was stuff to hype up because they have all the patch content to hype up.
僕は、
Same way that they've talked a little bit about Beastmaster.
そういう時期ですね。
もう間もなく
We want to find the biggest venue possible. That limits venues in Japan a lot. Well, we need to think 10,000 to 20,000 people, and that limits the possibilities a lot, because there are other communities events that are looking for venues as well. I think all community managers we have worldwide are slowly starting to look for venues now. I wonder if they'll do Vegas again.
頑張りますはい
そうあと皆さん来そうなんですよ。ダメなんですよ
It wasn't a perfect venue, but and also Vegas was like 114 degrees.
そうなんです。
Man, you like walked out and it was wild, man.
考えなくはないですけど、そうはいかない。
え吉田さんモンハン出演おめでとうございますってどういうこと
まあキャラクリじゃないですか。
Foxconn, if we could control the weather, we would consider outdoors too, but unfortunately we can't. No, please, Lord Almighty, don't do an outdoor fan fest.
疲れた吉田って書かれてるから疲れた吉田がキャラクリさ
I kind of understand why. I guess that would allow them for so much more space, but
作ってったら
so many problems would arise from that.
そして似ているっていうことなんだ
あ、そうかそうか。
そうなんだ
Yeah, right. I think the reason for the idea being that if you think about the world split up, right, the East Coast of the Midwest or the West Coast allows for U.S. people to get there, and also the JP crew to be able to get into these states a lot easier,
じゃあ
just because it's closer in when if you do like Vegas or California.
のではないかと思いますので本編も
And then if you keep going from there, you end up where London is, right? As like if you split it into like Japan, America, Europe, it like becomes those 3 quadrants.
来た。来ました。
I'm with you. Look, I'm on the East Coast. I'm with you, but
もう一つの未来ということで、
はい
こちらはどう
when I talk about Futures Rewritten Ultimate.
行こう行こう。
To do with Chicago or Texas.
実機でご紹介いただけるということです。
I think the thing though is that if you do that, then you still have the problem of the West Coasters having a hard time getting out. East Coast benefits the JP squad or West Coast benefits the JP squad and other people more. Like, don't get me wrong, again, I want it, but also then like they use PAX East, right? Also as a place to bring 14 stuff. Not that there's always a lot of announcements, but
準備をしております。なんだかトレーラーも気になる感じでした。
big airport.
こちらはですね
Right, but it's a longer flight.
突入カット
is my
シーンから
point.
あ、これも見れる。
突入カットシーン
And during those times, every hours start counting
配信側はですね私が突入ってやったら
with all the people and all the stuff you got to move.
言います
And also you have less not institution, you also have to have the connection. Ooh, okay. So is this the start of, are we starting with Shiva? I guess that makes sense. Her head's full of... I didn't quite catch what it was, but her head's full of something. Oh, there's got to be Nemesis, or at least some version of, if not Oblivion. There's going to be a remix of some of their music. Maybe like the theme of the Oracle's Theme of Darkness, which is a fucking rad track. Yeah, so see, yeah, so instead of filled with radiant light, she's effectively filled with the Oracle of Darkness' memories and energy. The light has fled, something like that. Shiva Mitron, okay. Oh, interesting. Wait, Shiva Mitron? That's not the... Am I wrong? Was that Mitron's glyph? That makes sense, though, if he was able to possess her. That also, if Mitron possesses Reen, that also makes a lot of sense for why Reen and Gaia would like unite in light and darkness, because obviously Mitron and Logrif, right? So it's effectively the inverse of like Reen and Gaia winning out, and Logrif and Mitron instead winning out and then combining into one. Okay, so we start with Fatebreaker. Wait. That's not the story I know. Oh, right, because Logrif's is longer. That is Mitron's glyph. Well, it's funny how it kind of looks similar. No, because, right, hers has the whole thing. So the question is the final... So do we fight Oracle of Darkness? Because the thing is, Oracle of Darkness only arises once Mitron dies in E12. In E12S. So the question is, like, what's the order of operations here? Do we defeat Fatebreaker and then defeat, like, Mitron? Defeat, like... Huh. Mitron really said, "I'll possess your new girlfriend so we can still be together." I mean, to be fair, Mitron in the short story is female. So Mitron's original form apparently is female. In which was it? It's in one of the most recent short stories. You have Mitron. They specifically gender Mitron. You have Mitron and Logrif hanging out, but before the sundering, before they're possessing anyone, and apparently. But yeah, before they're sundered, when in Amarat, and apparently they're both women. I don't know what that's supposed to imply, but they specifically go out of their way to gender them, which is weird. I mean, not weird, like bad weird, just like it's notable. There's not a ton to say here. So we have Death Wall. I'm not even allowed to fall. He's saying auto attacks are enough for something like to kill a black mage.
もう見たことなかった。あれ？ここまで。まあそうですよね。絶ですもんね。絶ですから。ここまで。ここまで。
Yeah, days gone by.
ね、思ってたのと違う。また持ったんでしょう多分。
Hydaelyn's feet carried him up gentle rise leading to the institution's grand doors, past which he spied two women he recognized, their cheerful banter a familiar duet. Mitron, Logrif, a pleasure as always. I gather the meeting has concluded. Well met, Hydaelyn, it ended, but a moment ago, replied Mitron before flashing a knowing smile. I believe they're both still inside. Yeah, so specifically, Mitron, say what you will, say whatever you want about that. Oh, I did Dulahan. They use in Japanese, they also use the female pronoun, or they don't refer to Mitron as. Also, it's worth pointing out that usually when they're localized, they are specifically localized between the writer and whoever the head localization staff is, who are deeply so it's a lot. It's been Kate, it's been Koji in the past. I don't know all of the staff that has worked on it, so they're all always working so closely that there's. How do I put this? it would be exceptionally weird for it to be an accident.
ほうほうほうほうどちらかといえば粒子に近いんじゃないかなと。で、今回
That's all. I don't want to touch too much on the difficulty. The top raiders will feel different, but I don't think it's as hard as the Omega Protocol, but closer to DSR. Yoshi P is still thinking top is harder than DSR. It's a speedy fight. It'll probably feel nice to watch. Honestly, it being a speedy fight, I feel like is more important. Like, you can make it a lot harder, but if it goes by quick, man, I'm fine with that. I've been clearing Uwu recently, and like, the most annoying part is just the length. Yeah, XIV is not a game that gets mislocalized often. Yeah, it's pretty fucking rare with how close and how embedded the localization team is with the writing team. Look, Crepe, I would be all about that, to be honest. Don't expect it to be harder than top. Well, here we go again. Yeah. It will probably feel this way, but hard for players. Of course, there is stuff typically found in Ultimates. The weapons are going to be, if they're the Edenmorn set, but with glows, they're going to be really rad. That's 10-minute prior time loop. Oh! Hear me out. No, it's 4 minutes. It's like a 5-minute fight, but you have to do it like 3 times. Still haven't done any ultimate. Maybe I can PF some fruit. Well, Crepe, if you want to do Uwu sometime, I'm sure me, you, and V, and some people could get together. It's fun. Uwu's pretty easy. Honestly, at least the primals phase is not any harder than anything in Criterion. First mechanic was a Protean, right? I didn't catch it. Don't use zoom hacks or anything. All this is designed in a way that allows it to be cleared normally, says Yoshi P. Foxon, will there be more voice lines? Yoshi P says, yes, there will be more spoken voice lines. I've got bad news about Oracle of Darkness's mechanics in E12S Nemesis. So the fight that you don't get in normal, because the 4th fight for every tier has an extra phase in Savage, she uses a bunch of, like, her whole thing is time mechanics. Storing attacks for later and rewinding stuff. And the fact that he called NASA strats, yeah. Yeah. 2 weeks after 7.1. Okay, so they are sticking with the 2 weeks. So this should be December, the first week of December. Or no, sorry, the last week of November. Time junctioning plus light rampant, yeah. Oh my god, that's gonna be a lot, Levi.
そうだ、もう一個あった。なんか結構プレイヤーの皆さんの間絶エデンって呼ばれてる。
Yoshi P says players seem to call it Eden Ultimate, even though it's called Futures Rewritten.
からするとさ、すごいでっかい木ブワー出てきそうじゃん。あ、確かに出てきそう出てきそうじゃん。出てきそう。あいつを見たら終わったと思った方がいいと思います。
Nerd Rage, because you glad to have ya. What did they call overall rate? We covered a lot, but you know we'll definitely do a wrap up of everything we've talked about as once they wrap up too. At current pace, I would expect we have at least 45 minutes left of content of live letter. However, we'll see. Because I can imagine it going to 30 and then only talking about weird merch stuff for the next bit. They're also reprinting the vinyls, so... They're at least they're reprinting the first vinyl, so that's rad. Well, it's weird. Oh, it's the 2 finals, and that's Encyclopedia Eorzean, I'm pretty sure. I can tell from its... I think it's an EE1 from its color and its binding. Yeah.
これはもう絶コンテンツのみなんですけど、まあこれ全絶コンテンツ共通です。7.1
Give me more glam pictures.
になりますが、どうぞパーティー内で
When 2 members with the same job are present in the party, the limit gauge will no longer passively fill up over time. Ooh. Really trying to incentivize people to having to play different jobs. Oh, and that's all ultimate raids too. Okay. I mean, I don't really think I know any groups. I'm sure there are some, but I don't personally know any groups that run double jobs, so. That also prevents, even if something's slightly overtuned, so like if Picto is doing so much more damage than Black Mage or whatever, that it prevents people being like, well, let's just run, you know, 2 Picto, 3 Picto or whatever. No more all summoner. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, if you're running that many summoners at that point, presumably you don't care about that because you're trying to prog, because otherwise there's no good reason to have all summoners if you're not just trying to prog, because your DPS is going to be relatively lower. The main benefit is you're going to have some reses and a pretty simple moveset. Yeah, probably discourage stacking Picto, yeah. I brought all 3 years. I never actually opened them. I read the dang things. Get on in them. No one told me the books were that heavy. Yeah, you could probably kill them, man. I actually have 6. I have 2 copies of each right over here off to the left. Oh, I've got like a whole shelf thing set up. And I bet I could kill them, man, if I stack them all together. Here, let's find out. Oh my god, they're fucking tomes. Ugh. Oh, we're talking about Hall of Novice. Oh, I love Summoner 2 Rag. It's that it's too. I think it's for a lot of people it's too simple, which they're not wrong. I think that makes it a really approachable and good job. But there are a lot of, I think especially if you're coming off of the back of like old Warlock Summoner and stuff. I understand some people's umbrage. I do think current Summoner is a lot of fun. And in a good place for growing. Although I also understand people who are annoyed that Dawn Trail doesn't feel like it really did a whole lot with it. The fact that it's just like, you know, Astral Bahamut. Solar Bahamut. Astral Bahamut. This is Futures Rerun. It makes you think the big old tree. Well, so one of the things that Yoshi P is pointing out in the art in the future rewritten is that if you look at like the structure of it and the oracle's like wings of light and dark, it almost looks like a big tree. Maybe that's relevant to, you know, Eden. I can tell you there won't be any lions in the Futures Rerun. You'll need 8 unique jobs from now on if you want any limit break generation in any ultimate, which means that you have to do that because literally some of them are unclear. I think all of them are unclearable without limit break. It applies to every ultimate, including the old ones. Flying plays like Clutch Shield will still generate limit break if it only stops you from passive over time. Oh, it's only passive, okay. We put a lot of effort into this and we want to show you now. So they're showing us the new Hall of the Novice. So this is going to be a good thing. The only problem is they need to make sure that this is intrinsically woven into the beginning to get people to check it out. Because if it's highly optional, it's not going to... It's all well and good, but people are just going to miss it. Although if it teaches you how to play a job correctly, I can imagine someone wanting to pick up a new job and going and checking it out. Okay. So look at how limit break generation works. Them adding a punishment to passive regen only for this. So there is passive generation of limit break, and there is generation for limit break based off of damage and healing. There will not be passive generation anymore in ultimates if you do not have all different jobs. So you will have less generation. Which means I don't know. Presumably that means you can still clear old ultimates. There's just it's going to be more difficult. They do make the persona part of the MSQ, but they really need to add the rest. Do they make it part of the MSQ now? Okay. Then first part of it is the first part of it. That's better. The second set of primal Eggies was direly needed. Yeah. I won't say everyone, but I did. People also wanted Zodiac or Highland powers, and we kind of got it. Yeah. The second set of primal Eggies was direly needed. Yeah. Or at least something akin to it to make it more interesting and zesty for people. To be fair, we did get... To be fair, I want to point out sorry, there's not a lot being said right this second, so I'm just going to give it a second to buffer. I will say we did get a summoner with 2 sets of Eggies. It's called Pictomancer and their colors.
近づいてしまうとお互いがね二重に攻撃を受けることになるのでお互い離れましょうね
The basics of the basics. These explanations are funny to read. So they, no.
1
1
実践ですね。
さあ、
おお
行きましょう。行きますよ。
はいよくできました
あ、合格。
さあは吉田。
なるほど。
これが初歩の初歩から今やっ
次の。I need to study more kanji.
お次
続いていくんですね。
続いていきます、
はい
いくつかのギミックをこうやって順番に
I'm so glad they're just teaching people. Look, I will also give them credit that like now the first real trial in the game, which is King Mogomog, because it's the first like real full 8-man trial. Because Dekumana is still 4 if I'm not mistaken. King Mogomog actually does teach you a bunch of the mechanics, which I think is rad.
支え合って耐え抜く必要があります。
なるほど。
予兆かこの予兆を感じたらね標的になったものの下に集まってくださいと。
そうですね。これは逃げるやつじゃないぞという。
We added wordings that the player base uses to the explanations. Atamawari is what the Japanese use. Wait, Atamawari. Wait, is Atamawari literally what they use for? That's funny. Atamawari is what Japan used for stack.
意外とみんなギリギリで
Wait,
そうね。
そうこれが、
I guess that makes sense.
みんなで受ける攻撃、で冒険者の間ではこの攻撃のことを被害の頭回りと呼ぶようです。これね皆さん結構頭回りと呼ぶんで
呼びますな。
そういうのもちゃんと入れときました今回テキストに。
なるほどなるほど。
頭回りって何のこっちゃみたいになる。
I'd have to see like the kanji or something to know which wari it's supposed to be exactly. But like Atama is head.
重い一撃とか言われてもわかんないですよ。
It'd be funny if it was like Atama Wadui. I don't think so.
頭回りの予兆範囲は円の中にいれば頭回りされるの。
Yeah, when it was split. Yeah, exactly.
それ
Isn't
で
it?
こ
Yeah.
の NPC がギリギリ
Oh, thank God.
に立ってくれてる。
I wish they would make it universal what the fucking that symbol was.
範囲攻撃が来るんで。
At first, you might not cone or line AoEs.
受けるとひとたまりもないので。しかもこれ直線範囲の攻撃。
Have they? Maybe they have unified it. Let's see if they have.
それ以外の人は離れましょう。
離れましょう。
これ今 DPS でやってるから離れましょうなんですけど、タンクでやると仲間から離れましょうになる。
ああ、なるほどなるほど。
ちゃんとロールで変わります。で、離れ
Yeah,
るん
you
ですけ
see,
ど、
it's gonna be a line through, so you don't want to be in front of it because if you go, it's gonna go through.
直線範囲だと受けちゃうんでここに。
Thank God they're teaching how to, as a tank main. That I appreciate that they're teaching that it goes through. Right, so that's the fundamental difference. I think have they made that fully universal yet, though?
最初ね、わかんない
It being that that one goes through, because I remember there were some weird ones like in Heaven's Word. There'd be weird ones where like it didn't go through.
との位置関係で直線から離れる。
失敗するとね、丁寧な説明は一回飛ばしてね、やり直しこうやって簡単にできる。
それはそうと。この人
Yoshi P, I'm a DPS now, but when you do this as a tank, we also added advice to use cooldowns. Telling people to use their mitt is a thing that they should do. Yes.
で、まあ、タンクの場合、あなた
Tank Buster is a line AoE? Yes, correct. The warning signs means that it's a line AoE that will go through. Do not... I mean, in general, if it's a Tank Buster, don't be near the tank anyways. But if it's a line one, do not be standing behind the tank or in front of the tank either. In general, just don't stand near a tank in front or behind them. Or to their left or right. Just leave us alone. We'll be off to the side. Don't stand near a tank. There are cleaves in this game. There are tank busters. Make our lives easy. Make us not have to run away from you.
たまにいますよね。
これが意外と一番分かりづらいんじゃないかなっていう気もするんで。始まる。
Yeah, definitely Raiji. It can only be a good thing. My concern is not that what they're doing is not a good thing. My concern is that if their desire is to teach players, they have to make sure that the Hall of the Novices ready access and ability and understanding of where to go do it and how to do it and that they should do it has to be a thing. Otherwise, it'll become a thing that people don't. You need a Hall of the Novice to teach people to go to Hall of the Novice, you know? I'm glad that they're teaching the chasing icon.
で、大体こうやって
I just want to know what the PvP gears looks like.
基本分かりました。
We will see that. They said they will show it later. So
最後に卒業試験として 応用編を
Kind of surprised they didn't show it up at the top.
今ここで学んだことの
今やったやつ組み合わせるんでやってみてねと。
どうなるんだろう。
Yoshi P. So if the tank goes over there, we go here.
応用訓練に移ります。
はい。
次々。ほう。ほう。
How to spread appropriately. Yeah.
いや、
Whenever you see something red and then a couple seconds then red, all you need to know is once first go red's off, step in. Like that is something to like that is universal. Always stand on the edge where the two things appeared, and just once the first thing goes off, step into where it was.
お南で頭割りね。はい。範囲のないところ行ってみんなでちゃんとねこちらへとかね言ってくれたりもするんで。ね、
Exactly right, Jay. Exactly.
プレイヤーの動きも見ましょう。ああ、タンク向こう行くなら我々は。
はいはいはいはい。あ、確かに応用編。
The thing, Rag, is that like you're not wrong, but also it is actually used a ton in optional dungeons. Oh, I shouldn't say a ton. It's used a lot in optional dungeons, alliance raids, and stuff. So like they've done a lot to like add it retroactively, a bunch more into ARR, and I don't know all about the duties in Heaven's Words, but they've definitely added retroactively more often. However, like I think Mogomog now has one of them. However, it is in a lot of side contests.
見方も見ながら
Good, good.
さあこれでコンプリート。これね超初級編になってます。
Things like tower and gazes are in later stages. This just now was 1. There are 3. So this is stage 1 of teaching people, just 1, 2, and 3. Proximity is there as well. So yeah, so basically everything you could want to teach someone is going to be in these 3. This is good shit.
全部やらないです。はい。どんなん出てくるか。視線とか。
Yeah, I hope they make sure. I don't know how they can incentivize people to do it. Like you can only bring a horse to water. You can't make it drink. I just hope they find a good way to help get the horse to the water. Yeah, Diablos has it. Anima has it. Zeromus has it. Yeah. To be fair, Diablos is not story. It's not MSQ. It's also in Evilise. It's in I think Orbone. I think adding this piecemeal might be better. Like after beating AR, you get told to go back to learn the next type of markers for future expansion. Yeah. If you were told like at the end of 2.0, like you have to go do this before you can do the 2.1 quest, that honestly might be a good idea. Tethers, yes, teach people tethers, help people be able to do meteors. The amount of people who struggle with meteors in Zeromus EX still even unsynced is astonishing. And it's fine because like clearly it is the fact that as the amount of people I've seen have trouble with it means that there's something going on here, right? About that the player base is not practicing this mechanic preemptively, so they're not learned in it. Maybe make it skippable but mandatory to show you it's there. I feel like if you make it too skippable, then people just like skip. Like maybe they'll be like, well, I want to be able to do that. Sure, I'm just saying it might be better for the player base as a whole if people have to do it. And also, it's gonna take like what, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I think it might incentivize newbies to actually do it if they learn the right way, and they can get something to make leveling faster from it. Yeah. The thing is that I think the problem is we think about this backwards. Is the majority of people not doing it is not just because they don't have a good enough reward. It is in part because most people don't know about it or feel there's a reason to do it that is not just that. So right, so like if you just give them like, well, you get a cool ring that'll increase your XP, that might not be enough to motivate people. However, I feel like, yeah. Oh, ooh, yes. Okay, good. Yes, these are all the good shit. God damn it, Greg. Yes, close the tank buster. The third exam actually feels hard. I would love to watch every veteran try to clear it on the first try. Nevik, yeah, you missed some stuff. We're a bit ways in, but we'll be recounting everything once we get to the end. Main issue with Zeromus is every group having a different version of where people run with meteors. I blame the first video gun that people used. It was bad. I mean, the thing is that you just have the four quadrants. It's very true. The thing is that you can't be prescriptive no matter what about the meteors, because there's different patterns. You can only have the four quadrants and then just have people slightly adjust. Realm is ever changing. Warrior of Light, we develop techniques that will help you get to the road ahead. Come, visit us at the Hall of the Novice.
方は7.1から新規で始めた方とかはもう最初からも遊べるようになってるので、そのままの流れでこうギミック訓練みたいな
Should be right before Castrum because their mechs are there. Maybe not even before. Yeah.
UI から追加されてますんで、ぜひ
Maybe after Garuda or something, or hell, maybe right after Sastasha, or like right after you do the your intro to your city state, like around level 20 or something. Depends on what level they have it set for.
これを予兆と言いますとか
Like, see, they got tooltips here, and that's great. Like, don't get me wrong, it's great. But like, if it gets lost in the sea of UI that people don't know how to search or find what they're looking for, the problem more often than not is not the existence of the information. The bigger issue is people's ability to access said information. So it doesn't matter if it exists if you cannot find it and don't know how to look for it, right? It'd be 49 or so. Well, then you're right. It has to basically be right before Castrum. I thought all the novices were required as it was told to go, but before the dungeon, from what I remember, but might have thought it was optional, mandatory. I think the tutorial should be somewhere before Castrum Marinum or Castrum Fullness.
で、強攻撃の予兆っていうのはこれです。で、円形範囲攻撃のタンク強攻撃はこれ。
It'd be cool after Cape Westwind or something, or before Cape Westwind.
とか直線範囲はこれです。で、分割ダメージ。
Am I crazy? Did they change it being required? Because when I played the first time, I was not required to do it. Or at least that's what I remember. Maybe it was just too long ago and I'm just wrong. This menu looks overwhelming to a new player. Yeah, exactly. How many of you, the first time you logged into 14 and it like blew you up with all the UI stuff where you're like, whoa, what's going on here? I have done everything I can to reduce the visual like clutter on my screen. I have no player names on except for people I'm friends with. I have like I don't even have enemy health. I only have the ability that the enemy is using pops up. Like I've reduced it way down. It was one of the AR overhauls. Okay, so sometime after in the 5.x to 6.0 stuff. I feel like you'd be the perfect incentive for people who want to learn how to handle different markers, isn't like for jobs that are not normally a main. Between various types, I think. I was blown away the moment the first mob I saw used the orange danger zone attack. There's times, yeah, true, right, yeah. You have to go and talk to one or two people. Is this? Thank God they're teaching limit cut. Yeah. We're getting my boy! Yeah, let's go! This is all I'm going to be doing. However I get him, this is all I'm going to be doing when 7.1 drops. And I will be doing nothing else until I get him. And he even has an action to do the smiley thing! There's a now action! Do it! Do it! Do it, you coward! My character on top does the pose too. Your character does the pose too. Oh, okay. What is it dropping from? Did they say? Okay, so this is Alliance Raid. This is EX. One of these has got to be the Pelu Pelu. So where's this come from? Yeah, exactly, Nemesis, exactly. I love, see? Oh, leaves. Oh, I bet you it's right. I bet you you're right, Infinite. I bet you that is where it's coming from. So, okay, guess what? We're doing faux leaves. Hey, to everyone who's doing faux leaves with me, or who has enough to buy a mount already, just hear me out. What if, and I'm just saying, you, I slipped you a couple gil under the table and you just, yeah. Why does it have to be weekly? Looks like I'm going to be doing a lot of Jade Stoa. Hey! Yeah, see, I was right. It is kind of like the queen. Although it's interesting because the green is much more like emeraldy. It's less spheny. That's interesting. But yeah, even the music is the Sphemes fight music. Oh, there's the mechanical stuff. There we go. It glitches. Game has no bug tester. Smacked by. Like her crown, yeah. I need to learn Unreal. Well, all you have to do is learn. All Unreal is it's an old EX fight brought up to current level. So like Jade Stoa Extreme with Byakko, it's just gonna be the Stormblood EX fight, except for tuned for you to use your level 100 abilities. So like if you do the synced EX Byakko fight right now at level 70, you will be completely set to do it in Unreal. All that will be different is you'll have access to your 100 abilities, and the numbers will basically be tuned for that. Oh, Rag, it's not bad at all. It looks like it's a whole thing, but it's really not. It's literally just click on like 2 or 3 things and you're done. How many runs will it take you in order to get the wings Yoshi P taunts? No direct statement on where the 2 other mounts come from, but I think it's presumably the barrel tender is faux. I mean, it definitely looks like a faux mount. And then the Mr. Seal Boy is gonna be a... Ooh! This will be useful for filming. Added support for Fisher's finishing animations. Okay, cool. It's kind of shocking that wasn't in already.
お待たせしました。漁師の釣りモーション対応でございます。お待たせいたしました。まあ思い出のね1枚というのをさらに取れるようになってくるかなと。であとはですねもう一個こちらちょっとまあ
Adjusted camera control to remain screen oriented rather than rotate based on roll angle.
回転させるとカメラ操作も回転していたのを画面に対して素直に動くように変更。何のこっちゃってなるんで、ロール角を回転させる、いわゆるスマホっぽくね、縦撮影にしたいってやると、画面は右に行くってどっちだっけこれをやるときはですね、こうやってたんですよ。これしかないです。ぬっつってどっちだっけこれみたいななってたんで、これがですね、すいません戻していただいていいですか。7.1 からは、カメラを上に操作すると単純に上に行くというすいません操作に
That's fucking rad.
首つらっていう感じでやってたと思うんで
Now you won't have to crane and hurt your neck. Yeah, little updates. Yoshi P says little updates, but we're doing them. Yeah, one thing 14's good at is constantly just refining and updating, refining and updating, refining and updating. That's gonna be a Yoshi P emote. Yeah, Yoshi P like tilting his head like that. Or like, honestly, both of them doing it like as a meme would be good. All of existence bent to my will. As shown during PAX, we're working on a few bigger UI changes, like chat bubbles. Yeah, if you didn't know, they said at one of the PAXs, was it PAX West? I don't think it was PAX East. They're adding chat bubbles. Or at least they're working on adding chat bubbles to the game as an option.
イメージも出てますんで、まだ実は見てないっていう方はちょっと見てください。とか、
yeah, no, definitely.
発表して続報がないホワイトボード機能、さらに便利にいろんなことができるように作り込みをしておりますので、ちょっとそっちにね今集中しております。はい。はい。さて さらに
続いて参りましょうか。続いてはこちらです。
はい。
ほい。ミラージュドレッサーへの
Outfit glamours.
はい。
Go on.
先に説明をし
Store specific combinations of gear in the glamour dress as a single.
おしゃれ
That means I can store an entire fucking like I can store a set. So I can store like an entire set from a dungeon as one item. Wait. Oh my god. This I can finally finish. I've been collecting all of the fending armor sets from every dungeon.
圧縮した状態のまま、装備したり、ミラージュプレートにこう投影したりとか。
If this is working how I think it's working, I can finally finish collecting every dungeon tank armor in the
すみ
game.
ません、今回は主に装備可能レベルが
Must the entire ensemble of specific gear to store them out outfit will primarily support level 1 glamour gear at this time. That's fine. That's starting somewhere. Okay, if this is how it working and how I think it is, this is gonna. Oh, okay. They might have actually finished the fixed glamour. Because the 800 slots at least will be fixed. And still, I mean, glamour plates still suck. But like, if we get more glamour plates, that kind of solves most of the problem. Again, still not a great system, but still solves most of it. This is so huge. I know, I feel like this is bigger almost than any announcement in here, and it's kind of just being like, oh yeah, here's one of the fixes we're doing. But that's always how it happens. I still remember more people cheered for dual die systems than did for almost anything else at NA FanFest.
とフラグ管理がちょっとデータ数的にかなり厳しくてですね、やりたいとは思ってるんですけど、結構時間かかる。
And the whiteboard features that we announced never followed up with. This is also in the works. We need the entire set for this to work. He's going to show us how it's done in game. Okay, we're going to get an example. We're going to get shown how it works.
ちょっと見せて。
ね
He can't undersell his, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just that Paladin having intervened. Yeah, exactly right.
はい、今回
Okay, so this is how it's going to work. You're basically going to have the items saved as a set.
幻影化というスイッチがついております。
But they can only make it work with unified sets. So for instance, that has to be everything of, like, I'm assuming that they talked about level 1, so I'm assuming like all of the, let's say, Rogadin racial gear is can be stored as a set.
覚えておいてくださいね。
はいはい。
で、まとめますと。
はい。
で、まあ、1個ずつ一応確認が出ます。こうやって持ってるならはめてってくださいと。
はいはいはい。
ここはね、自動的に押せば所持品から
Oh, this is so exciting!
でこの状態で
I'm gonna free up like almost, so like all the store-bought glams and event glams would work with this, I assume. Yes. They didn't say if it's every level 1, but they're just saying they're prioritizing level 1 gear first. So basically everything from events, stores, that sort of stuff.
消えてしまいます。これちょっとさすがに
This will affect 10x the number of people a new ultimate or a new savage raid will. Yeah. Oh, 10x I think is underselling it. Because if we assume relatively on patch,
この中に入ってる
only maybe 5% of the player base is participating. Or at least, let's say, because only like, I think 10% or 12% is finished Uwu
プレート
at last check.
時には、ここはもう
This is going to
第
affect
一リーチ出すのは
at least 50, this is going to affect more than 50% of the player base. So anywhere from like 10 to 20x amount of people.
が普通に並んで見えるんです。
そうですそうです。
これは便利。
まあいちいち箱から展開して
This changes everything. It really does.
ぐらいだったら実際収納としては5つまとめて1個で収納
Prioritize glamour specific gear.
バラで見れる
I think it's it's probably because they're prioritizing one
こうやって
store items, and I think there's that stuff makes sense to prioritize from like a store, and there's a specific subset of gear, and there's specific whole sets, and like there's a lot of reasons that I think it makes sense to start there, but also they're basically part of it is probably divvying up the work
ちょっとぜひ使って
to make it so they can do it like patch by patch or however they do it. You need the entire set for this to work. He's going to show them. For gear that can be compressed, you will have this little button on the right. Your pre-dies will get lost during this process. That's fine. That makes total sense. It's already how the glamour works. Honestly, that's probably better because if you wanted to fix that later, it'd be a pain.
なんとかアイテムデータワークの拡張とかをやって、ちょっとさらに利便性は 上げられるようにできない
The
か
Armoire is running out of room, yeah. I love how they are using the cute white mage Cry outfit to show this, yeah.
データ通信量にも大きく影響してくる部分なので、ちょっと慎重にやらせていただけると助かります。
FF3 white
というわけ
mage?
でちょっと溢れそうだからまと
I
め
think it's FF3 Search 1. I don't.
コツコツまとめ
That
て
that
い
did
た
that.
だけ
It might have been 3 remake.
はい
I forget where it first came from.
で、
The armor of invincibility gets better. Yeah, invisibility.
いっちまおうか。
はい。
はい。
Was it 5?
では続いて
Yeah, FF3 devout. Yeah.
はい。
I was about to say I don't think it was white mage, but it was. It's obviously the evolution of it. Copy settings to another characters.
データコピー機能。
最近まあ当然運営もずい
I
ぶん
mean,
長くなって
copy settings to another. Doesn't this already
ロー
exist?
ルプレイっていう観点でもまあメインで自分で扱ってるキャラクターと別にサブキャラ作って
Okay, what are they
遊ぶ
adjusting
ってい
here?
う方も結構多いと思うんですけど、
はい。
See, Rag, I'm gonna pitch you. I don't think that's a downside. I think that's an upside because it incentivizes people collecting a whole set, which is a fun thing to do. But also, they can still store it even if they don't have it. It's not like a, oh, now you can't store it if you don't have the full set. It's just you can now consolidate it all, store it if you do. A character's HUD layout, macros, config settings, and more can be copied to another character. I mean, this is amazing, but isn't this already how it is? I mean, can't you already do the copy UI settings? Applicable to characters belonging to the same Square Enix account and on the same device.
お願いしますと。あと同一のスクエアエニックスアカウント内のキャラクター同士で
Need to copy the
可
files.
能となっておりますので、こちらねサブキャラ
Well, how the fuck does? Because I swear I've used the config copy thing on the main menu.
はい思います。
Maybe it didn't copy macros, and maybe it didn't copy config settings, but definitely I copied HUD layout because that's how I copied my HUD layout between Lend and Elio, and I didn't do it in the wrong
テ
way.
キストってなんだっけってなるレベルですよ。
Duty list updates go on. They hinted earlier on that they might be trying to update the party list or like the duty finder in some way, and I'm not quite sure how they were saying it, but it kind of insinuating cross data center duty finder for everyone. I don't think it wasn't. They weren't kind of implying that it would be like, oh, a whole world for it, but like if you sign up for something in Crystal, or if you sign up for on Crystal, you could end up with someone on Primal. I think without changing servers was the impression I was getting from what they were saying, but I don't quote me on them doing that.
あると思いますんで、でまああとは今までは結構処理深く
To be fair, the quality of life roads is basically every patch infinite.
なのでどうしても表示ベースがなんですけど、グラフィックスアップデートさせて
Backup thing for the same character. Okay, then I must have done it the weird way.
10件表示が増えます。素晴らしい。はい。
Can now display up to 10 quests.
でさらに
This is gonna sound so stupid because it's like, okay, how many people actually care about this? But I constantly love having quests up, like specifically which ones I'm focused. And this duty list. This is like being able to. This actually genuinely is amazing. So you can have 10 things listed. So if you want to like have all like almost an entire raid listed as the options for what you want to go into. Yeah, that's actually kind of amazing for the duty finder. Sorry, I wasn't. They're not talking about the quest. They're talking about the duty finder. Tilt configuration. Added feature to show character tilting while turning. Cool. I think because they added that in and it's awesome, and the tilting edition in 7.0 was amazing. However, some people have complained about it, so I think they're allowing it to turn it off if you'd like. The game has been running for so long from an RP perspective, and just having alts, this feature is overdue, said Yoshi be talking about the armoire. The tilt that has been applying to flying mounts will also be applied when your own character turns. These will also become a feature you can individually toggle. So now your character will also like lean into turns. You're not just like going boop, boop. Guys, we are now no longer boards that just turn on a dime. We now have momentum. We can bend. We can flex. We have the technology.
これそれぞれにオンオフできるようになりましたので、イランという方はご自身の一番、そうですがでちょっと、まあたくさんアップデートあるんですけど、最後にまあお知らせ すでにテキストで出させていただいてますが、グラフィックス
You got it. Yeah, you're. Yep.
本当にたくさん
All my existence bends to my will.
はい
Yep.
グラフィックスアップデートのさらなる微調整というのを
All flying mounts, all characters, but not Cruise Chaser.
関連の
You're not salty infinite.
を
Graphical update adjustment. Finally, they're talking about this. Starting with patch 7.1, character-related feedback will be addressed. So we knew that they were not going to be done with all of the graphical updates until at least 7.3 in terms of like affecting like armors and stuff. Obviously, they'll probably still be tuning into 0.4 and 0.5, but they're going to now actually basically, if there have not been changes between 0.0 and point so far, it's because they basically wait until the patch to actually like implement a lot of changes in feedback. So they've probably been accruing it though this whole time.
対応しても大丈夫だろうというものは一個一個対応させていただきますので、
Flexible.
7.1 リリースされた段階でですね、比較していただけたらなと思います。はい。で、まあ当然ちょっとニュアンス変わるんじゃないのっていうところも、まあもちろん、まあ、かなり微調整なので、とはいえなんですが、幻想薬。
An additional file of Fantasia will be distributed, only redeemable during 7.1x from a certain NPC. Because they want to implement the changes that to some of the characters that people have been the feedback they've gotten. So if it makes you not like your character how it is, you can change. You'll be able to change it for free. Eorzean will look like they're on the verge of tipping every time they turn, aren't they? I mean, we already kind of are. A third free Fantasia, yeah. I think anytime that they're going to do massive changes to a character, to like players, you should expect a free Fantasia because of the level to which that like actually affects people and the way in which people hold their characters sacred. Yeah, exactly, Crib. Nevik, I would assume that you'll see stuff like that addressed, yeah. They probably already got that feedback long time ago, but they just haven't implemented the change until the patch, right? One more thing has been feedback on the graphical update. One more Fantasia, but only obtainable during 7.1. It's not a quest. You talk to an NPC and get it. Free Fantasia. That's it for the content. No, now more for the schedule. Yeah, so I was right. So we've probably got about 20 minutes left, although they'll probably start talking about merch sometime about 10 minutes from now, and around then is when we'll start talking about the recap. So it looks like we're not seeing much of the PvP rewards. November 12th, because it's always the Tuesday, it's Kyobi. Again, friendly reminder, that means you have effectively 12 days. You have less than 2 weeks. Definitely wrap up any of the pre-7.1 stuff you want to get done. Yeah, there's really no criterion. I wouldn't have expected it. I would expect if we're gonna see a variant dungeon, I would expect 0.2, maybe 0.4 and 0.5. We might only see 2. We'll definitely see a variant dungeon during the patch cycle, but I just would definitely, I wouldn't expect one. Hell, I wouldn't be even surprised if it was like 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 or something like that. Because we got a lot coming out in 0.2 as well already. Rag, I misspoke. I think what they were saying was not 10 quests visible at once. They were referring to the duty finder, how you can select 5 options. So you can select up to 5 like dungeons at once. You can now select 10 to sign up for, which will actually hopefully help things pop quicker. For some people. I mean, it won't really technically help things, the specific thing pop quicker, but you can sign up for more things at once. So yeah, so 12 days from now, patch 7.1 releases. 2 weeks after that, the ultimate releases. And then, what, 8 weeks? Yeah. So, no, just 4 weeks. 4 weeks after, oh, so wait, so 4 weeks after that we get the 0.5.
はい。まあだからだいたいパッチ 7.1 から2週間で 7.11 が来て1ヶ月ぐらいで 7.15 が来るというイメージでいただければ良いです。そして衝撃の 7.15 から
Interesting. Because of how they're splitting it up, it's almost like they're doing, they're kind of doing like a, there's only a month between it, but the release after Cloud Direct. Interesting. They're kind of splitting it up. They say quest, not duty. Okay, we'll go back. Maybe I misread it, but they had it written differently.
実はファイナルファンタジー14って
はい
意外とやっぱりこう年末年始って皆さんへのフルサポートっていうのがどうしても各社が僕らが仮に
Yeah, no duty lists. Yeah, you might be wrong.
各社様がお休みでなかなか対応取れないので、
はい
Yeah,
まあ
we'll see,
前に
Crape.
もちょっと話したことあると思うんですけ
You
ど
may be right.
まあできるだけ
The
ちょっ
duty
と
list is the HUD element that lists the quests. Okay, so no, I was right in the first place. Maybe okay, I misunderstood.
越しちゃって
Because they started talking about duties and right afterwards, so I was very confused.
20
Hildy for Christmas.
高難度だけに
Okay, who wants to do Cloud of Darkness on Christmas Eve?
させて
まさかの
いただいてですね、
はい
我々と一緒にクリスマスを
Honestly, I'm kind of shocked they didn't just put it off for a week. Although I guess if they put it off for a week, it's New Year's, so
我
like
々も全員
they're kind of screwed no matter what.
そうですね
何かないかどうかのね
はい
まあ火曜日がたまたま24日あったんですよね
まあ確かに結果論ではありますがはい
でこちらは、まあ、パッチではない理由
I'm hiding last time. December 24th will be the Cloud of so Christmas Eve will be Cloud of Darkness release.
時間が来たら
We'll have to make an event and get everyone together. Here's what I will say. If we're doing Cloud of Darkness as a group,
えー
people have to be committed and you need to be ready to like commit and also be ready to like learn because it's going to be like EX level and it's going to be hard. Like or it's going to be close to Savage level.
はい
いうことになります
I hope I get Dawn Trail so I can play everyone.
スケジュール微調整される
Yeah, speaking of Yukio, I need to remember to
これ以外にも
yeah,
ト
I-
ピックス何かあれば随時入れていき
did O12S on New Year's Eve got them out as well? Hell yeah. Cloud of Darkness Chaotic. My body is willing, but the brain is squishy. Jane, I would hope there's still a good chance that you can do it. Like it's supposed to be basically EX level, but maybe like Savage first tier level, which is not necessarily. Some Savage first tiers are easier than some EXs. And especially with their new incentive system, a lot of players. Here's a really important thing about how they did Cloud of Darkness Chaotic, and I'm so excited about this, is that there's a reward structure system highly incentivizes veteran players bringing in new players and helping them, or even in some cases carrying them, to get through it. Because they get extra rewards for bringing in players for who's there the first time. So, yeah. I would say if you have any interest in doing Chaotic, there's actually a good chance that it'll be good. What I would recommend is if you want to do Chaotic, go do current EXs. Learn and work on current EXs, because if you can clear current EX content, you will be able to clear... You will probably be able to clear Chaotic Cloud of Darkness with if you're with a group of people who mostly know what they're doing to some extent.
まだ残していたアイテムこんなの実装されますを
はいご紹介いただける
ダラッと言っていいですか
Mariah Carey.
お願いいたします
Oh my god, they finally did it.
言います以上です
They finally added the ladle and so this was an art contest weapon from a long time ago.
何のゲームじゃん
So oh, it looks like the runner-up art contest weapons are the ones that we're going with. So if I'm not mistaken, so this is the Paladin one. They're not saying how they're being dropped, but the last time they were dropped as tombstone weapons. So unless they're PvP weapons or something.
はいもはや斧ではないだろうじゃあ戦士でございますね
Oh yes, dude, the great sword I really wanted them to do.
かっこよかったですねもうめっちゃ頑張ってます
That is, look at that fucking
韓国騎士ですね
great sword.
いいですね
Trophy crystals. I hope you're right.
スクショ撮るのに開発チーム側で装備まで合わせて撮ったらしいです
That ain't no joke. That's a beautiful sword.
ガンブレーガー
Oh, the shark gunbreaker one. Yes.
シャークですねこれねガチャンってなってましたよこれ
I also love that it literally says shark on it in Eorzean.
なんであっちはそれでこっちはこうなんだよって言われましても
MGP. Could be stage 1 of the relics. I doubt it. They wouldn't introduce that until we get to Crescent. So that would be next patch.
こちら
Yes!
いいと思います
Sharky
こ
punch.
ちらいいと思いますよ
サメを選ばずにはいられない
Gunbreaker weapon may look like a toy, but it's absolutely a toy I want. And I love its colors.
こちらはですね大変可愛く出来上がりました
Yes!
勇気で
Cattail.
ございます
柔らかそうです
猫じゃらしですよこれこれねなんかちょっとちゃんとアニメーションするんですよ
Those shark fists are the ultimate Lalafell
硬
weapon,
かったらちょっと嫌じ
to
ゃん
be honest. It's really funny that they put them on a Lalafell.
弱そう。まあね、それはね、攻撃力あんまなさそうなんですよ。さあ、続いて、忍者です。
Yep, knife and fork ninja.
お前別々のデザイン持てるんじゃねえかよみたいな。
Levi, was it you who said you were looking forward to this one?
これはグラアップデートで、
あ、なるほどね。
武器に割り避けられる容量を
God, Jane, that would be so funny if it was.
分の1にして、
くわ
キャラハンがめっちゃ頑張って作ってくれたんですよ。
なるほど。
You wanted the cake staff, right?
途方もない。
途方もない。
努力の賜物
途方もない。こちら侍です。
侍。
Casa?
仕込み傘というか。
Literally like ornate umbrella.
こちらも。
What happened? Wait, when you pull it out, what does it look like? Like, is the whole umbrella, like, is there no sheath or like?
確かにそれは気になります。
そしてですね、銀融詩人でございます。もうこちらも
Nutkin on the bow.
変わりました。
Well, wait. So what are you?
最終チェックの時に
But
大きすぎ
are you playing the squirrel? I know that they're supposed to be playing their bowstring like a harp string, but I have questions.
これね、すごいと思いますよ。
ですね。
はい。
Ah, yes, the fucking God. These are terrible. I hate
明
this.
らかにね、
I mean, I'm glad it exists for the people who love it. Deeply, I'm glad for them. Also, I hate this. This is terrible. I hate this so much.
いいね。この人 PVP に行ってほしい。
ああ、なるほどね。なるほどね。これね、活かしますよね、これ。さあ、そして、まあ、ファイヤーダンスからのイメージ
Ooh, I love that.
なるほど。
炎をまとって。
I mean, I don't like it as necessarily aesthetically, but theme-wise, it's so good.
いいですね。
これね。
Also, that fucking Highlander in a hula skirt is, I'm kind of all about that. Give me that aloe Highlander.
そしてですね。
Yes, full Axel from Kingdom Hearts. There's your cakes. Oh my God, the Serpent of Ronka in teacups.
あ、もうくるくる回っておりましたね。
And he's singing his song.
これもですね、
This is the Black Mage weapon, by the way. So I know some of you are going to become the new Black. Yu-Gi-Oh's dying. The greatest teacup ride.
ちょっといろいろ
Yeah.
コーディネートしていただけたらいい。はい。召喚師。
Ooh, I love that. The book with the carbon. I might use that like for my. I love that. I really love that. Like unironically, I love it. It's got the. I love the detail in it because you've got the 3 city states. You've got a phoenix feather. You've got a carbon. I love the leather. That's awesome. That's a fucking rad. That's a genuinely like one of my favorite scholar summoner glams ever.
アイデアなんでしょうですよね、これね。
Red Mage. It's another umbrella. Oh my God! Drippy is your catalyst.
白飛び気味ですが。
はいはい。
So it presumably like sits on the hill. That's so funny.
が、
Drippy is the catalyst. Oh, that's so good.
こういう感じね。そうそう。
確かに。これはよく考えたな。
この傘のね、ちょっとだけ広がってるというか垂れてる具合とかね、
はは。
大変こだわってましたんで。そして、
そうか、そうですよね。
先こっちでいいのか？こっち。
そうですね。それがいいと思う。
そうだよな。
はい。
はいはい。さあ、こちらは
There you go, Levi. The White Mage cake.
食いしん坊ね、今回思いましたけど、
はい
食いしん坊多いなって。
確かに。
ナイフやらフォークやら、ケーキやら。
そうですね。
うん。もう意外とね、これ白魔エーフとか合うと思うんですよ。
I mean, the Serpent of Ronka being the Black Mage weapon works for Y'Shola, and she was with the Knights Blessed and in Ronka and all that. Oh. I just want to make that in real life. I just want to make. I could just make it out of leather, or I could make it out of like, you know, craft foam, or like, and then like paint it with. Oh, that's genuinely pretty. Man, the fucking Scholar Summoner books are fire.
ちょっと待ってくれ。どれを大取りにしようかな。
これはこうなってくると難しいです。
難しい。
That is correct, Yu-Gi-Oh. Yes. Infinite. That'd be cute to like put up in the background.
いいか、この通りいくか。
いいと思います。
Yeah, exactly, Rack. Exactly. The fucking Scholar Summoner are just perfectly on brand. That's adorable!
研究医じゃないんだけど
The ass is a fucking snow globe for the astrologian! No specific job changes, Laguna. At least none stated.
雪が降ってるって
There's PvP job changes, but not PvE. That has been stated.
めちゃくちゃ可愛くできましたんで、こちらぜひ
Yeah, the Yukinko. Yeah, the Yukinko in like a snow globe is so good.
カードなどない。
There's a good chance it will be Tombstone Gear, Yukio. That's what it was last time. They haven't said yet.
別のとこ作った。
There are new particle effects in the globe. There are no cards that go with the globe.
次こちらも正統派ですね。リーパーといえばというわけで
That thing looks straight out of like 2002 PS2 design aesthetic.
かっこよくて
Fucking Scarecrow Reaper. That is I don't love it, but I love it again for like theme. Like you could make a glam that went with that. That would be fire. Yeah, Black Waltz vibe, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
賢者でございます。
はい。
食いしん坊。
Fucking
ね。
Sage Newliths.
バラバラのデザインは辛いって言ってんのに。
本当だね。
うん。
確かにこれがシャーンシャーン。
さあこれね結構衝撃ですよ。4つ配置につくんでねこれ。
Another really hungry one. RKH2 thing, yeah, definitely Levi.
って言ったらさ、ナイトだってお玉ですからね。
Back old fiddlesticks.
ね。そんな言ったらダメですよ。ネタ系シリーズなんで。
Sage is classy enough to know how to use 2 forks at the table.
ほんとね。
これを開発チームでしたっけね。
あ、こっから、
はい
そうね。ここ2つは
はい
まだコンテストやってなかったんで、
そうそうそう
とはいえなんか新ジョブないのかわいそうじゃんっていうので、
Wait, what?
バイ
Oh, Viper. Oh, because they're saying Viper and
今までのテイストに
Ninja are kind of similar, which kind of makes sense for the scouting.
これまでのテイストに寄せ
But I also love the idea that you're gonna put the knife and fork together and have a dual-sided knife and fork weapon.
これ皆さんに合わせたんですよ。皆さんに合わせたんです。
Now you can be the blue
合わ
Raj.
せた合わせたんです。そしてピクトマンサーは、どっかのマジカル少女になりました。
That's some magical girl-ass energy going from the Pictomancer.
こういうでも電子ガン
There has got to be a lot of people who are going to be probably very excited for that. That is like a Madoka Magica fucking Sailor Moon ass wand looking.
そしてもちろん忘れてはならない。
はい。
青魔同士。もはやピエロになってしまった。マジシャン。
There's the Blue Mage. Which honestly is just a... Well, interesting. Interesting that it's a Blue Mage has a weapon too for it.
半端ないですね。半端ないですね。なんだったらちょっと
That would imply that where these is coming from is going to be somewhere weird.
こういう人って
I don't think it is going to be Tomestones. I think it's going to be a reward for something else
呼びかけてくる。
because they wouldn't make a blue weapon Tomestones.
各ジョブ
At least they haven't.
作品
I guess they
い
could.
ただきますので、ぜひ。
I'm going to double check, but I didn't hear them say anything about
やっていこうと
where they're coming from.
ぜひぜひですね、その時はレギュレーションよく
Just said weapon design
お
comms.
送りいただければと思います。
はい。
Gold saucer. Did they say gold saucer? I mean, that makes a lot of it'd be perfect, make perfect sense.
大丈夫だ。
大丈夫です
大丈夫だ。
はい。では、本日の PLL でご紹介したいものは大体こんなところということで、ここから先は締める前にですね、お知らせ時間が
Okay,
いくつ
time for announcement corner. And then after this is finished, I will be recapping everything we learned.
ちょっとね、一緒に見ていきましょう。ということで、まずはこちら。
Friendly reminder that you have until patch drops to. Hey! Final Fantasy Brave Exvius crossover. That's not what I was expecting, but that actually could be cool.
まあファイナルファンタジー14で
This could actually be genuinely pretty rad.
やりましょうということになりまして、こち
It's
ら
been a while since I played that.
まあオプションアイテムの方に
Ooh!
ブレイブエクスビアス幻影戦争コラボコスチュームが登場してまいります。
Don't think they adapted the Mont outfit perfectly, but it looks good.
デザイン装備が、
14側に登場するものです。
はい。まあなかなかやっぱりこう絵の
Was that Brave Exvius? I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm pretty sure that was the.
14側のに馴染ませていこうかっていうところはかなり
I thought that might have been one of the other ones, but was it Brave Exvius that
含め
NA got
ぜ
shut
ひです
down.
ねチェックを、試着からねしてみていただけたらなと思っております。
はい。
はい。
On August 29th, it was announced the global version would be discontinued. Yeah. Yeah, that was the one that was recently shut down. That's kind of sucks. It's like, hey, the game shut down that, and it shut down officially yesterday!
以前のコラボイベントを
the global version shut down yesterday.
ビジョンカードとはい追加となります。はい、こちらは12月1日からスタートということなので、ぜひ
Thanks, Yoshi P.
よろしくお願いいたします。
まあ幻影戦争のコラボコスチュームの実装タイミングっていうのも、まあ12月頃予定してますので、決まり次第ね、ちゃんとお知らせさせていただきますので、よろしくお願いします。
はい。ありがとうございます。
はい。
それでは続いて次のお知らせに参ります。どうぞ。はい、ファイナルファンタジー14 Don't Rail The Art
Hey, new art books.
Relics of
Gonna have official art book featuring a 1,000 illustrations, concept artwork for Dawn Trail. And includes an Aaronville minion.
公式画集が発売決定いたしました。
はい。
はい。こちら発売日が来年2025年3月27日、北米欧州は、4月29日を予定しております。で特典として豆
It'd be really funny if they just out of nowhere just like and here's Encyclopedia Eorzean Volume 4.
リンク先で詳しく
まあ拡張というかね定番になってきました。
そうですね。
Honestly, if they do announce it, they would announce it if it's like what they did for Volume 2 and Volume 1. Volume 1 being a weird case because they didn't tell Heaven's Word. We wouldn't see an announcement for it until 0.3 at the insaneliest earliest, and more likely 4 or 5. 0.4.5 is when we would see that announcement. If we see an announcement that early. Oh, that reminds me, I need to order this. I don't have money. I need to save money. Or we can make it a stream goal. Yeah. Yep, Zero Minion if you get the Dawn Trail original soundtrack. You have to buy the original soundtrack though. And also Japan like has a thing with charging like not exorbitant, but like very high prices for its music. I shouldn't say Japan does this, but like Square Enix and a lot of like Japanese companies, like it's pretty normal to charge higher than what you would normally expect. You get the orchestration roll as well? I don't know. Sometimes you do. Or sometimes you get one with some of the stuff. Like you get, if you got like the special live versions, sometimes you get them, but I don't know. I don't know if you always do with the... Probably not because you get, because it's 66 tracks. And most of those tracks are already in game. Yeah, no, it's just Zero. It's also a Blu-ray.
横浜アリーナ単独 2days なんてできるわけないんで。
なかなかできませんからね。
はい。まあぜひぜひ、はい。ご検討の方では。
Two orchestration rolls came before. Did a minion or just the orchestration rolls, Laffy? Because it may just be that the orchestration rolls were there instead of a minion.
企業様コラボという。
Who wants to go camping?
またやっていきます。
I swear to God, they make the most random shit.
おなじみのロゴス様とですね、14のコラボアウトドアグッズということになっております。
Forge Ahead was a remix, okay.
たくさん、はい、なので、買おうと思ってたの控えてこれを待つっていう。
Yoshi says there are so many art books now. Was a lot when I recently moved. Apparently he owns all the art books, which I think I do too. I've got them all off in the corner over there. Need to set them up.
詳細もう少々お待ちください。
Hold on, just we touch grass.
すぐそのままキャンプに行ける。食材買えば、あと火起こせば。
そうですね。
これ全部って書かれてますけど全部です。
あ、そうそう。写真に写ってるものは全部。
写真に写ってるものは全部です。後ろのキーとかは違いますけど。
そうですね。
はい。で吉田はついてこないですよ。
写真に写ってないでしょうが、ね、予約開始日となります11月15日にはですね、このグッズを紹介する生放送を予定しておりますので、そこで行って15日。
ああ、15日。はい。あ、予約開始日に紹介する。
はい、その日の夜にですね、
Talking about vacation or at least about camping. Did I see we're getting another free Fanta? Yes, but you can only get it during 7.1 because they're fixing some of the facial and other features in they're basically you going through all the feedback that they got between the launch of 7.0 and 7.1 to try and implement some changes in feedback for people's for player characters' appearances. But obviously, in doing that, they're going to affect something. So they want people to be allowed to like fix things. Camping, what Fight Me has that mechanic? I believe it's the content. Island Sanctuary, the Island Sanctuary content. Final Fantasy 14 themed camping equipment. I've come up with a new recipe. Exactly, man.
紹介しつつね。防寒してめっちゃ寒そうな放送になりそうだけど、これからだと。ちょっとやりたいですよね。キャンプとか。
Okay, so who else is desperately hoping that we get a Monster Hunter Wilds crossover? I mean, I guess I assume that we won't get it until the game launches, so that would be February. So if we were gonna get a crossover event, it would be in 7.2. If we got right after the game launched, and 7.3 if we were getting it for a little bit after the game had launched, which presumably when did Oh, those are cool. Oh, those are really cool. Why is the Immortal Flames ones like yellow though? Shouldn't they be black? Oh, they do have black pearls. Okay, cool. I was about to say, like, shouldn't the Order of the Twin Adder be yellow? That's weird. Oh, Twin Adder should have like more yellow pearls going on. Oh, weird.
ご覧の通り国家団総者と不滅隊を表現した3種類のブレスレットが発売いたしますということでございます。
シルバー925全開でこの量を使っておりますので、まあ多少しますが、はい、私つけておりました今日。
The crossover happened like 8 months after World's release, so I would expect if we get a Monster Wilds crossover, it'll be 7.3. Ooh, that's lovely. Do I get, if I was gonna get one, which one would I get? Definitely not Twin Adder, because fuck the Twin Adders. It would either be Maelstrom or... I started out with the Flames with Lend, and I started out in Ul'Dan, that'll always be... But like Elio starts out in Limsa, so... I don't know. They've been wearing Maelstrom and Twin Adders ones today. Hiding plain sight the whole time. Are adders and flames? I don't think so, because the flames have the black pearls. It just looks like the adders do have yellow ones. The green is just more stark. Like, you can see it yellow. It's just weird that they chose green. Like, if they were like black and red, black and yellow, black and black, or I don't know, something like that, it would have been one thing. But I do want Valley Garmonda and Wilds. Yeah, see, now you're getting, or like some kind of Vidral or something. Yeah. During going through 7.1 trailer, did they cover mention the new Crafter Gather stuff? They have not. They did not, and it does not look like they will be for this. Though we should have. In point 1, did we get new gear? I don't think we'll have new crafting gear, but we might have script gear. I don't remember. I forget the order for crafters. Minimum US 1,000. Yeah, 245. Yeah. When Crystal Bracelet will be perfect to wear on your left hand. Linsa is home of the tea tree. That's true, Laffy. Yeah, I would have to do Maelstrom. Again, once they wrap up all of this, we will be recapping at the end. I just want to make sure that they don't announce something out of hat. Like, there isn't going to be anything crazy for content or anything, but they may announce random, like, a weird merchandise item that's actually rad. Will this stream be uploaded for later comers? Yes, it will be. Streams are always left out, for the most part. But some of them, I guess, have been Oh, that's so exciting, nerd! I hope you enjoy patch 7.1. Friendly reminder, if you aren't already, come join our Discord at discord.gg/series and our archives if you want to talk about the game in general, or also join us for all sorts of content, or want help playing through new stuff, or anything like that. And also, we'll be back to major content creation, obviously, actually now. I've done a lot of recorded interviews. I have some shorts all finished up. I've just been moving into a new house for the past couple of weeks. I was supposed to move in like a month ago, and then things got delayed, but so So, but yeah, definitely come if you guys haven't been. Definitely come join all our fun events and stuff we got going on. And if you're also like somewhat of a social introvert, don't have a lot of batteries, you do not have to be a speaker and super social. You can just come and have fun. And if you want to be social and have fun, you can also do that. Jeezy, crazy Nem, that's crazy. I mean, that's actually, I guess, should say pretty on brand for their pricing. Yeah, exactly, Nem.
これね、似合うかどうかわかんないんだな俺ってなるんですけど、これね、アクセサリーちょっと生出てたわ。アクセサリーって不思議なもんで、
I mean, to their credit, I haven't checked it, I haven't seen what they said, but if that's like actual silver, then I think that pricing is more understandable. Yoshi P, I met the CEO of a Japan Expo in Paris. Was a special experience. He had more rings than me and gave me a ring as a sign for friendship. He met he met the CEO of Filibuster, I think, and he traded a ring with them apparently, or he got a ring from them. Oh, that's awesome, nerd. I'm super excited for you. That's great. Was a member of the T community for several years, visited plenty of events, yet to say even a single word out loud. Yeah, exactly. Wait, Infinite? No, maybe it was Laffy who popped on for like one word once. I can't remember. What?
FF14 のコラボレーションでヘアダイですね。ヘアダイですね。シュワルツコフコラボヘアカラーというものが欧州地域で、発売されます。でこちらヘア化粧品ブランドのシュワルツコフの鮮やかなヘアカラー。
Oh God, Square Enix! How do you make these decisions?
ございまして、これ詳細は今後欧州リージョンのロードストーンの方で発表させていただきますが、
Oh my God.
していきますよということで。14のキャラクターの髪色をイメージして
Now you can be a Limsa Cat Girl IRL.
相当髪色ね確認していただいて作っていただいて
German jump scare.
このパッケージによりますと、15回洗うまで持つということだそうですので、
なるほど。
ぜひともご検討。
俺もすぐ落ちるのよ。
あ、そうなんですか。
15回ってすごいね。俺2回洗ったら。
They should release in-game hairstyles. Yeah, they should release all these as in-game hairstyles. Yeah, that'd be really funny.
数日前に入れたんですけど。
I mean, it's funny because it seems like they're actually trying to copy them, but like this one has bangs and this lady does not have bangs, so I'm a little confused about that one.
髪が落ちたわけじゃないんだ。
大惨事。
大惨事。はい。
はい、それでは続いてこちらのお知らせです。どうぞ。はい。Echoes of Eorzean, a decade of Final Fantasy XIV.
For the first time in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia will witness the echoes of Eorzean, a decade of Final Fantasy XIV in symphony. Okay, I'm gonna scroll back up and I'm gonna start prepping to go over the main stuff that was covered today. It's interesting. 7.1's the 0.1's usually not the most loaded patch, and 7.1's actually pretty decently loaded. Like, remember, we still have like Beastmaster, Cosmic Exploration, the Shades Triangle, variant dungeon, all sorts of stuff still to come. Better not have any exclusive codes. Hopefully not.
なるほど。
もうほぼほぼチケットないみたいなんですけど、一番不思議なもんですよね。一番お安いチケットだけまだ少し残ってるそうです。
そうみたいですね。高い順に売れていくってことですね。
高い順から超 VIP みたいなやつからなくなっていった。そうで、もうちょっとだけあるとのことで、トーフィルさんと一緒に栗田さん、式のね栗田さんと一緒に、行ってまいります。
すごいな。なので、ちょっとこちらあまりあれですね、日本からそう簡単に行けるものでもないので、あまり日本では激しくご紹介してなかったんですけど。
The only outliers are Solution 9 citizens that seem to have unique to them than neon hair colors. Yeah, but honestly, in general, they just need to add more colors to the game and add more hairstyles just across the board. Which they are adding some new ones in the Chaotic and Cloud of Darkness. But I mean, just like, it's weird. When was the last time we actually had a new color? Well, probably Ishgard Restoration, right? So there have been some. But like, we should get. I feel like the amount of especially with the new dyes and the new graphics overhaul, we need to like double the amount of colors in game. One other thing that's weird that they didn't cover is the graphics updates for like old content. we know that they're going to be updating them, but it's interesting. The way they talked about it seemed like it was going to be an like patch by patch, upgrading some of the old stuff. The way they're talking about this, it's not clear if they're like just going to shadow drop it effectively into patch 7.1 or what. Okay. There's not a lot that they're saying right now, so I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to turn them down, and we'll go back through in case there's anything interesting that they say, because almost I guarantee you there's going to be nothing of importance or value. So I'm just going to go ahead and
そうまあでも以前言ったんですけど、ものすごく皆さん親日家でいらしていて、民族衣装に関しても、
Okay.
なんかさすがに着て歩いたりするの。
We have obviously the patch today, Crossroads 7.1. In the thing, we've got the Shadow Lord, we got Prish, we've got the cool Jaja, we've got the Cloud of Darkness, Chaotic, and we've got the Oracle of Shadow, or whatever this ends up being. A combination of Metron possessing Reen and Gaia. With Gaia possessed by Logriff. You know, so it's basically the Chaotic Alliance raid, a lot of 11 stuff, and the ultimate. There doesn't seem to be any actually main quest MSQ stuff here focused. We have this, which is it's the first walk Juno, which it looks like they're combining the stories of core Final Fantasy XI and Rise of the Zilart to some extent, as we know that there is going to be the Fafnir as a fight, there's going to be Archangels as a fight, we know there's going to be Prish as a fight, we know that there's going to be Shadow Lord as a fight. We don't know altogether what, but that also, if that's the case, I'm forgetting his name, but the main Zilart guy in the armor, like his appearance when he shows up in Cydia, right, or in I think will be probably a fight based on the fact that we're getting a lot of the Zilart stuff. What's interesting in Juno here is the sunshine and happy, everything looks okay. You can see these phantom echoes down below. We've got also this here, which I believe is a map from Rise of Zillar, or I may be wrong on that one, but this is also where we're probably going to fight Fafnir. This is Rise of Zillar map, and has to do with a whole bunch of stuff. If I'm not mistaken, is this the place where they tried to break the gate open? I've read and looked at a lot of 11 stuff, but I haven't played a bunch of 11. We know Halatali is getting duty support. That's cool. This is we're getting EX3, the Sphene fight, which will have wings that we saw that look pretty rad. This is the role quest, the finale role quest that you will need to do all of the role quest plus all the What You Makey quests to do. It also seems like she's summoning something with the Aurosite. This is the Hildebrand. Also, this Hildebrand doesn't look like our Hildebrand because he's far too confident and self-assured, which makes me think maybe it will be another Reflection Hildebrand. But we'll see. Chaotic. This is Chaotic Alliance raids. You need 24 people. We can do it with anywhere from 12 to 24 people, but it is designed for 24 people, and the groups are 2 tanks, 2 healers for DPS. Crossroads. Reen and Gaia. Although in this case, this actually may not be Reen and Gaia. It may be Reen possessed by Metron and Gaia possessed by Logriff. I mean, technically Gaia possessed by Gaia at that point, but Logriff's memories. Which also is interesting because in the most recent short story, it is also revealed that specifically before the Sundering, at least the way they showed themselves, Metron was also a woman, which is interesting because their body is male in Eden. At least their possessed body. This is Reen possessed by, Oracle form possessed by Metron, as opposed to the Refulgent Light. She's possessed by his shadow and effectively takes control of her and her power. 今回はパッチ当日、パッチ日の当日にパッチノート朗読会をやるということは、メンテは24時間ではない。This is just scheduled for Tuesday. They'll read the patch notes. This is pretty normal. Neo Dimensions. Oh, renowned Inquisitor returned to deliver an original RPG. Okay, yeah, they're just saying Fantasian. They're making it so that you can play it outside of the App Store, the Apple App Store. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a Fantasian crossover, seeing as Sakaguchi is such a big 14 fan, and all the 14 creative business unit is such a fucking Sakaguchi fan. It would be pretty surprising. I mean, basically, a discussion between them is how they got Fantasian to be something they could release. Final Fantasy 16, obviously, play it if you haven't, it's great.
間も大体決ま
大
ってます。
体決まってるけど、決まったら正式
Annotation crossover. Yeah.
します。
おおむね午後3時ぐらい。
They're talking about Fantasia being bad. I think originally they were both a female or something. Yes, in explicitly, Metron is stated to pre-sundering at least present themselves as female. It's not clear the level to which Emirates, seeing as they can kind of control their physical expression, how their society deems that or views that. But that is, they are specifically referred to with female
映像
pronoun.
的にだっておじさんたちすら
And it was not a localized. I am very certain it is not a localization mistake because of how the localization process for short stories works. Okay, we're getting in 7.1. We're getting new main scenario quest. This is on November the 12th. New main scenario quest, allied society quest with the Pelu Pelu. Custom deliveries will not be until 7.15, which will be about a month later. So this will be in December, early December or mid-December. That's when we'll get the additional role quests, the custom deliveries, new Whatchamiki quests. Hildebrand. We also have new game support for 7.0, duty support for nominating Hall of Novice, PvP updates. So Juno first walk. So this is what the map looks like when you fight through it. It's actually like almost looks like the realm of Dynamis, and things are more broken up. It looks like we will be fighting Prish and the Shadow Lord, maybe in this first area. And then we'll be going through a second area, and then it looks like a second area or maybe a third area with the Rise of Zilart map. And it looks like they're kind of splitting the expansions. It's not clear how they're telling the story because it's not even clear. The history for what they're showing in Juno the First Walk is not the same history as the actual Vana'diel. Therefore, they're either doing an interpretive history or something weird with it. Yeah, so Juno the First Walk. See, everything's falling apart. Chaotic Alliance raid. The gear for Juno the First Walk will be the Archangels armor from Final Fantasy XI, who are also bosses and a fight in it. But I do not think they will be the final boss. I suspect the final boss will be Mr. Zilart or something. Which could be embodied by, I know that's not his actual name, but I'm forgetting it. But those may be embodied by, if they're interpreting the history of 11 and doing that, kind of like what they did with Ivalice. I said Ivalice on intent purpose. Then it would make sense that the Zilart there may be like one of the 4 missing Asians could have occupied that role in that historical event. Or something like that. And then also there's this armor too. Already talked about Cloud of Darkness. So Chaotic Cloud of Darkness looks rad, and also the reward system for it is there's going to be 70-30 gear, mounts, minions, and hairstyles, and you'll get tokens which can be exchanged for rewards, and there'll be rare drop. There'll also be rare drops that you can exchange the tokens for as well. So you basically have a pity system, but you also can get something just as a drop. Also, and more importantly, arguably, the bonus reward system. First time duty bonus. Additional tokens will be awarded in proportion to the number of alliance members new to the duty. So the more new people, the more bonuses you get. Limited time bonus. A randomly occurring reward bonus that persists. So they're randomly throughout the week, month, we don't know exactly, for a couple hours going to increase the drop rates to get people to try and do it at certain times. Also, so this first part means that if you're an expert, you're rewarded for helping new people through, right? So this is a great system. This is a very, very good system. This is a phenomenal system, and this will hopefully really make Chaotic not become dead content or content that's just unavailable to a solid 80% of players. This is one of the armor sets. It's Diablos. And then this armor set, which is reminding me something. What am I forgetting? This is from something. What is this armor? Someone tell me. Also, it looks just like the elemental fending armor, but not fending if you painted it white. We got new mounts. So we've got the Mr. Seal Boy from the first dungeon. We got one of the like squares you stand on in Eden. Which Eden fight is it? I forget which Eden fight it is. But anyways, the ones that fall, and it has an active command that if you press it, it makes you like start panicking, and then it disappears and you fall. Like here's a picture of it. Very cool. Also, there's another mount, which is you literally become the Cloud of Darkness. I mean, you're still you, but you have your tendrils and yours. You got a smoke cloud and everything. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like that Lalafell. No, that Lalafell does not have an evil face. It's just Lalafell's have evil faces. PvP updates. There's some PvP updates. They're going to be updating hit detection to make it feel better. But it's not necessarily fixing the netcode on the back end. Just to make it appear so it feels like visually feels better. There are going to be some adjustments to all the jobs other than Pictomancer and Viper. Particularly Black Mage will get a big change. Series 7 will begin, as per always, when patch 7.1 begins. There's some updates to 2 of the maps from Crystalline Conflict that are making them just make more sense and be more approachable in how you get around them, because there's a lot of dead time. One thing, this seems really bad, but hopefully it'll turn out well. They're making it so that if you want to do ranked, you have to go to a specific data center server on each data center. So for instance, if you want to do ranked matches in PvP, you need to go to Primal if you're on Crystal or Aether, as an example. It seems like this is a short-term solve to the fact that they want to make it that you can just sign up. Primal, Crystal, and Aether could all sign up for the same things in the Duty Finder effectively. However, they do not have that implemented, and then their short-term solution is that they're going to rotate which one of these are, and that you can go. So, like, if I go from Crystal to Primal, I could sign up, but I can't sign up for Crystal currently. I think this is a terrible, terrible, terrible solution. However, if it's a short-term bandage for a longer-term solve, okay, and if it's also existent to try and solve some other problems, I understand. But yeah, I think it's a bad thing to do. We got Futures Rewritten, Ultimate. The new Hall of the Novice looks like it's going to be a great way to teach people as long as they can get them to do it. We got a Barrel Tender mount? So there's that. And he smiles, even as an active action smile. And your character does it with him, and I don't know what else you want me to say. Besides its perfection. We got the Wings from Eden. We don't know where the Barrel Tender is. Probably a Full Hollows, and this guy's probably from the Pelu Pelu, seeing as the Llama's already a mount you can get. And because you're doing stuff with the Hanu as well, and they're tied to the 7.1 map, or 7.1 dungeon. So I think that's probably where this is coming from, the Allied Society quest. Some slight updates to G-Pose. This is huge. Huge. They're starting with level 1 gear, but they're making it so that gear sets can be combined into one slot in your collection. So effectively, if you imagine this, if you have like the entirety of a dungeon set, like the dungeon fending set, right? Like the head, the helmet, you can make it one consolidated slot in your thing, in your glamour chest, which is enormous. Like it's huge. This is the amount. So like for instance, you can probably with this change, there's a non-zero chance that you could collect every at least dungeon armor set in the entire game and put it in your glamour dress. I would have to run the numbers, but almost certainly it should work fine. Because it's only like 5 per dungeon, and there's like not even, I think there's like 100. Yeah, so like this is huge. This is going to be a huge solve. Copy settings to another character, new config stuff, just the release dates for everything. November 12th, we're going to get patch 7.1, 12 days from now. Future Rewrittens is going to be 2 weeks after that. It's going to be the ultimate. Then on December 17th, we're going to get the half patch, which we'll get custom deliveries, additional What You Makey quest, and Conceive Hildebrand. Then on the Christmas Eve, we get Chaotic Cloud of Darkness. On January 21st, we get additional role quests. So 7.6 is oh my god, 7.16, holy shit. 7.16 is a full month. What's interesting is that 7.16 is almost like being put where sometimes the half patches. Anyways, so you'll have tons of time to do all that. Here are all the joke weapons. We've got the Paladin one, the Warrior one, Dark Knight, Gunbreaker, Monk, Dragoon, Ninja, Samurai, Bard, Machinist, Dancer, Black Mage, Oh, that's so good. Summoner. Red Mage, and it's got Drippy as the catalyst. Not loading. White Mage, Scholar. Oh, that's really pretty. Astrologian, Reaper, Sage, Viper, Picto, and Blue Mage. We don't know how we're getting them. At least I didn't see that they said. Probably MGP. They're probably not tomestones, mainly based on the fact that, one, they're joke weapons, which, I mean, doesn't preclude it, but also that there's Blue Mage weapon. That being a pretty rare thing, so it's either going to be an alternative content thing or it's going to be Gold Saucer. There's going to be a War of the Visions crossover, which is hilarious because War of the Visions closed down in North America yesterday. Like, the server's permanently closed down, so you can't even go play it right now. But the crossover is not Japan exclusive. It's just really funny that they're like, it's so weird. New art book, that's exciting. Dawn Trail album coming out. Hopefully they'll release the official lyrics with that. That's pretty common. And finally I can do a Smile lyrical lore because I didn't want to do it until like I had the official lyrics, because despite what people say when they say official lyrical video, it's not an official lyrical video because the official lyrics have not been put out. Anyways. Jewelry, blah, 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 nothing. Okay, cool. That's about it. So any final questions? Because if not, we'll go ahead and start wrapping it up here. Hey guys, friendly reminder, if you want to come join us and have a community to play with and do all sorts of stuff in Final Fantasy XIV, you can come join us at discord.gg/Eorzean-archives. Also, there will be content coming out. I'm not going to even say specific dates, but should be very, very soon. Editing has been done on shorts. There are a few shorts done. There are some interviews I have with people like Maricam to do Eorzean Archive, where I talk to other Final Fantasy content creators and players about their experiences with 14 and thoughts in order to kind of get a whole breadth of, you know, Eorzea, to archive it, especially specific moments in time, and get things wrong a lot. Beyond that, you can look forward to all sorts of content coming out like that. We'll have streams like this. I'm doing 7.0, playing that on Elio, and I'll be starting up as soon as my house is done, which probably the next 2 weeks is what I'm hoping. So definitely come join us if you want to see that. 7.1 looks incredibly exciting. I hope that you're all looking forward to it. Anyone got any final thoughts, questions, or things we want to talk about quick before we start signing off here? Just got here from Hothgar hair. No specific statements on it, Mimi. However, we know we're getting new hair in the Chaotic Alliance raid, and I would assume that it's going to be for female Hrothgar as well. Heyo, I love the rest of the Eorzean team, but please go to sleep. I promise I will get sleep, Nem. Don't worry. I can carry it through. I feel very, very good right now, and it's about 30 minutes from now after I sign off the stream. I'm like, I'm still feeling very... That's what will happen. Including the lyrics. Wait, they did? When did that happen? Okay, well, if someone has put out an official lyrical video since they put out the official lyric, then they are not full of shit. And also, I mean, just call it the unofficial. It doesn't matter. It's only the lodestone. Okay, for the hair dye. Okay, again, Crepe. I want to be very careful here because I've also had a lot of people send me the lyrics saying it's the official lyrics, and then I found out later it was still a fan. Just to make sure, this wasn't Reddit putting it together and everyone's certain it's correct, so it's the official lyrics, right? This is devs specifically put it out because I've been burned before. Okay, but yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful 7.1. Definitely, hopefully see you guys around in Eorzea, but I have been Elliot Forceron. I will see you again very soon, hopefully, or not. I'm gonna go to bed. Barrel tender! Let's get him, let's get him, let's get him, let's get him, let's get him.